I'm gonna click on that and I'm gonna play it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's fine. Listen to the lyrics, people. Listen to the lyrics. 5 minutes and the dopamine hits will begin. Just listen to the blooming lyrics.
The first step in on that unlit trail, a personal journey to that holy grail, or similar words that resemble a treasure, one that is hidden, one hard to measure. It takes a strength that is hard to fathom to step into such an endless chasm. And this for those who have the path they must follow. They walk it regardless of fears and of sorrow. As this hero's journey is not written in books, it's alluded to, yes, but it's not as it looks. The inward steps blind, the choirs don't sing, yet through test after test, the remembering. Once on this path, there is no turning back. What's seen is now lit, an ongoing track. The dive into layers, the depth charges blow. The confusion and darkness continues to grow. The path doesn't care about stories or lack. The layers peel back regardless of that. And yet each day comes a new test without wisdom, which comes from reflection on that path of the hidden. So each new day brings confusion, new depths, and each walk a step thinking whatever next. Lost in the inside, yet somehow secure in that thing that humbles the hubris, the remembering. The observer sits in the space in between, the space in the center, the breath in the dream, the quietest place in the center of noise, and knowing with silence the greatest of boys. Holding the door open, knowing that soon the lost will come knocking and enter that room. The strangest things happen after so many steps. The hardest of steps now fall one after next. The strength that it took to just wake up and walk somehow has eased, and the path doesn't fork into stories of loss or narratives dark. It's now slightly lit, perhaps by the arc, and day after day the steps grow into more of the trust in the one that is held in the core. The reasons, the stories, they all had their place are mostly surrendered and filled lightly with grace. A value, a trust, perhaps a prayer and a wing. The ongoing path, the remembering. The observer sits in the space in between, the space in the center, the breath in the dream, the quietest place in the center of noise, and knowing with silence the greatest of poise. Holding the door open, knowing that soon the lost will come knocking and enter that room. Week follows week, month after year. The steps do not cease, but the path is now clear. Hurdles that trip now experience with calm. The storms that once raged now soothe like a balm. The spark now relit, light in depths with a glow that brings peace of the core, a wonderful flow. Solid now more when the less has been seen. Reflections bring wisdoms that review that old dream. Innocence, peace, and a value refreshed. A smile now within, now the room's clear to mesh. The deeper we go, the the more joy it does bring. As step follows step, remembering. The observer sits in the space in between, the space in the center, the breath in the dream, the quietest place in the center of noise, and knowing the silence, the greatest of voices. Holding the door open, knowing that soon the lost will come knocking and enter that room.
Yes, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Oh. All right. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hiya. How you doing, big boy? Okay, confirmation that you can hear me now, please, first of all. Whoa, that's some good weasel-ass coffee. Oh, yes, please. Okay. Oh, fuck off. Let's start a live stream with no battery on our laptop. Oh, yeah. Anyone would think he's unprofessional. Oh, shit. Vic, I've just put up my camera. Can we get £500 in the chat, please? I need a new DJI. I'm going to get when you give me £500, I'm going to get the latest DJI Pocket Osmo, which I believe is a 4. Mine's just a pesky old 3. Well, and it's fucked. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Everything happens for a reason. It will make sense soon. But seeing as it only happened 2 minutes ago, it doesn't make sense yet. So I'm just, getting ready for live. Obviously, the floor's tiled because all the floors are tiled here. And I just decided to chuck my camera on the floor. Like, there was just no need to drop it. It wasn't even clumsy. It was just, I can't even find a word to describe it. It was way beyond clumsy. It was just ridiculous. So I had it in my hand. I'm here. I had it in my hand and suddenly it's not in my hand. And now it's bucketed. I don't know if it's bucketed. I don't know if it's broken or just having, a bit of a, you dropped me on the floor, so I'm going to be a bit like, But the gimbal won't turn around anymore. But it's in gimbal protect mode, so it could get out of that, protection phase. I wanted to use a different word beginning with R or S. Well, it could just be protecting itself because it's like, you just dropped me on the tile floor, bear. But yeah, it's not looking good for the Pocket Osmo 3, which is a fairly important piece of kit in my life. So Rick Heskey, where are you? I need a new camera. Yes. Fuck them. Fuck them all. No, this apartment's, it's massive, number one. There's actual double walling. It's really well made. The first one I was in, same. However, left a gap in the wall. You stupid Swiss alcoholic. Still need to tell you about that. And also this one. Oh yeah, you can see it here. Glass wall goes all the way to the ceiling. Oh no. Last one, glass wall as you could see it, and then the second half, big gap. So that does two things, air conditioning wise, a nightmare, because both sections have their own air conditioning system. Now, I haven't used my air conditioning for 24 hours, and I don't think I will. For me, if you've got a fan on, you're gravy. Oh my goodness, Leslie. Hi, Leslie. Hiya. I don't think you watch the lives, Leslie. Look at these ones, my people. They obviously haven't opened up yet, and they are real. They're not plastic. When I first saw them, I was like, they're plastic. No, they're real. It's just Cambodia, and it's amazing. And I am super gay for it. We'll talk about that more in a bit. I think the dick's looking maybe about to commence again. Because Cambodians are hot. They're hot in their heart and they're hot in their face. Way better looking than Vietnamese and Thais. Oh, probably shouldn't have said this before. That could cause some F-16s. They're really good-looking people. Their mind, their body, their soul. I remember questioning this last time. Like, I'm sure the Cambodians are better looking. And then you spend 6 months in Vietnam, where the ends of Asia, in many regards, but also very great people that I really like, and obviously not comparing them to ends of Asia is the key bit there. So, you're comparing them to an amazing section of people of which they are part of. So out of that amazing section, they're the ends. Yeah, I don't think I saw one person in Vietnam the whole time that I wanted to lick, suck, or poke. And in Siem, I'm just like, damn. I haven't acted on my urges yet, but fuck me, man. So I don't think this is a problem at Tree Hugger. I am a little bit excitable right now, so potentially. But no, I don't think so. And they're only, they're Malaysian. What I mean by that, oh, right, so one of them's, so it's a disempowered Malaysian man. I think I could be making, definitely, I just look at his girlfriend. And then his girlfriend, bearing in mind she's Asian, so it's very extreme in Asia to have the woke demon or basically the demon that presents itself with blue hair and septums. Well, that's what she's got. So yes, we'll be getting some clips of her for English refugee, of course we will. But yeah, whoa, demon. So I really don't care. I've got some really good news, Vic. But obviously, it's not good news until you come in here with $500 and buy me a camera. I haven't actually started drinking this one. So yesterday morning, it's on camera. So Lee takes me to, right, so the story thus far is Lee takes me around shops. And the coffee is outrageously expensive. Everything, a sponge is $3, £2.50. And thank you. No one even acknowledged it yesterday. Like, what is wrong with you guys? How can you listen to something like that? I mean, yesterday's was a bit more. No, it was inspired by the Henry Nowak incident, but it was still fucking very high vibe. But I just thought, fuck it, I'm just going to blast them with a proper one now. Like, it doesn't even delve into the 3D. And Liz, obviously, because she's one of the best. Hence why she has a little mechanic sign by her name. Yeah, see you later, demon. Well, I don't think she does anything. I don't think she wants to be a moderator. And she won't answer my questions when I ask her if she wants to. But, so I just made Liz a moderator without asking her. Because I just know she's, like, the one. But it appears that she's not interested. That's fine. I do wish she'd answer my question, though. Like, very unlikely is to not answer a question or to, have any sort of, like, ooh, I don't want to speak my truth. Because everything I see of Liz is just like empowered, on it, done the work, connected with the lands, has a beautiful masculine husband that no doubt leads the way. And that's not a negative thing because she's so aware, she knows that's not a negative thing. She's not being, or if she has, she's deprogrammed from feminism and she is happy for a man to lead as he should. Not like all the other spazzy women in the chat now going, oh my God, it's so sexist. Ah! Even though what I'm speaking of is honoring the feminine. But they don't know what the feminine is because they're all men. Ugh! No wonder I don't want to have sex with them. They don't even know what they are, for fuck's sake. Stupid biatches. Right, so coffee was a big problem, 20 quid a bag. And then Lee's mate, who's been here for a long time, so Lee texts him because Lee doesn't drink coffee. So he texts him to confirm if this is, is coffee just this expensive? Because obviously I'm freaking out of it. Exaggeration, you'll see on camera, I don't freak out, but it's like, well, you've already seen it. I talked about it on live. Oh, good to remember, that's nice. So this experienced fucking Siem expat says, yeah, it's just a price. So I've accepted it. And then we go to the market. $4. Booyah! But before that, I take a risk on this. No band. And I on camera, I call this the ass coffee, as in this has potential to be ass. Which is quite ironic, because the coffee out here, and I think it's more of a Vietnam thing, but I didn't really come across it in Vietnam. So there's this thing out here, I might get this a bit wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is what it is. The weasels eat the coffee beans. Is that a weasel? I think that's a weasel. Whatever that is, a weasel. A weasel eats the coffee bean. The weasel, the weasel shits. Coffee bean not digested, I think. Yeah, obviously. Now, obviously, weasel not being indoctrinated. Weasel not being jib-jabbed. Weasel not being sent to an indoctrination system for 12 years and then intense indoctrination system from anything for 3 to 7 years, depending on how intensely you're going to be indoctrinated at university. Of course, YouTube is all for fun. Try and go to university, everyone, because that's what clever people do. You'll never amount to it. You'll end up being a grifting YouTuber if you don't. Weasels have instinct and know which are the best coffee beans. Weasels shit out the coffee beans. They take the weasel shit, get rid of the shit, hopefully, and then take the coffee beans, and they produce the coffee, the best coffee in the world. Obviously not for $4 in Vietnam, in Cambodia, but it's very, very good. It tastes very hazel. Right, so then we take a chance on the potential ass coffee. Oh my God. Hazelnut tones. You know, so it's actually at the point where I'm like, is there sugar in this? Because it's so sweet. It's so delightful. So to me, I'm no connoisseur, but to me, I taste hazelnut and I taste chocolate. And of course, I taste coffee. And it's strong, baby. So I shouldn't fall asleep on you tonight, which would be nice, seeing as you've, tuned in to be entertained and all that. And then here I am just like, sorry guys, I just can't do it. I just can't. All right. You're not a new member, unless you've rejoined. Oh God, don't tell me RPM Nitro is going to turn out to be a crazy one. Oh, I don't know if I can deal with any more crazies. I've already got so many. So RPM Nitro has apparently just become a member, unless he's joined the other channel as well. So as far as I'm aware, unless he's doing some craziness, RPM Nitro is my first ever member on the channel titled Tom Greater-X, the big gay. And he's just popped up as a new member again. So either he's, got ego issues and just wants to be seen or something, but I think it's more likely that he's joined the other one. So that would be Tom Greater-X as an English refugee. What will he get up to in this next episode? Ooh, I can't wait to see. All right, let's delve into the chat and then maybe I'll regale you with some of my mental illness. Good evening, Decker. How good was that start? I'll never, ever. So, Decker, I think he's knocking one out again. I don't think I will ever be able to beat that start. Other than obviously Lee's incredibly lyric creations, but I don't. But even I must admit that. But that start to that live. I think it's I just can't believe there's ever been a better start to a live. I'm not talking about my YouTube either. I'm talking about in the history of YouTube. So I'll tell you about this. This is interesting. Well, I'm going to do a whole video on it then. So Lee's partner, well, she's gone now. Gone back to Argentina. But let's just call her Lee's. But well, she has her name and her own autonomy. She's called Mariana. I've done an amazing video with her. She's a qualified doctor who's obviously binned it off. So an amazing video that you should see in 2 or 3 days on Tom Greater-X. And it's already on Patreon. It's fantastic. I am so on it with my Patreon now. So Patreon are only 2 weeks behind on English Refugee. By tomorrow, they will be seeing yesterday's episode, so we'll be fully up to date. They've got 6, at least 6 Tom Greatrex episodes, because the content creation is just flowing out of me. So they've got all of those. They've got their own little personal video. That's nothing to be excited about. That's just information. Why am I talking about that? The doctor, something along those lines. All right, yeah. So obviously she's had an awakening. She's no longer a doctor, but she is a qualified doctor. And so I've got this verruca issue going on. And she's just like, yeah, bro, apple cider vinegar and something else. I'm just doing the apple cider vinegar at the minute. And obviously at the same, so I'm not going to go into how it's all come up, obviously, and my journey with it. I'm just going to tell you the practical 3D stuff, because that's what most of you can understand anyway. So. And also, I'm going to do a video on it. That's actually why I'm not going to. So, oh God, I want to go into all the tangents and everything, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it simple. So, oh, that, yeah, and then there's the mouth infection thing. Have you got to the English Refugee episodes yet? No, you haven't, probably. So basically, no, it's only 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I got a big mouth infection, which I get, like, so in England, I used to get it once a year. Out here, I get it 4 or 5 times a year. And it's agony, like the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. So, of course, because the Rothschilds allegedly, maybe, possibly, this is just conspiracy theory for entertainment purposes. If you don't believe anything I say, always trust your doctor. In the very early 1900s, or possibly late 1800s, I'm pretty sure it's like 1904 or something like that. They take over the university medical system at the same time, and then guess what happens? These little pills appear. So, you know, there's a knowing that everything can be healed with plants. But also there's an acceptance of that has been taken away from us, and one has to dedicate their life to it, or know someone like Mariana to know what to do. So just before I meet Mariana, my verruca of 6 years, which I had surgery on and had gone, suddenly pops out. My cold sores pop out, and the infection starts again 2 weeks after I've had to kill all my gut biome with the poison. So I noticed the part of me that's conditioned, and so I've been putting this, so I've got this cream that I use for cold sores. So cold sores has been a running problem since I became best friends with James O'Neill in year 6, because I got bullied by everyone, so I became best friends with the outcast, who had big cold sores, and he used to spit all the time. So ever since I spent 6 weeks being his best friend, I've had cold sores, or the potential of cold sores. I suppose one would call it the HPV virus, yeah, or something like that. And come and go, put this cream on, and it sorts them within 24, maybe 48 hours. So I was putting this cream on for a week before I met Maria. And so they haven't popped out, but, you know, I can feel them. And nothing, they're not going. So obviously, the universe is like, no, you don't need this shit anymore. You're ready for real healing now. And but I can still notice that part of me that wants to go to the cream, because it's worked so many times before, and you know, I went through the schooling system, so obviously I have conditioning, and my parents are total libtards. So, God, it's so hard. I can just like in my head, it's just like tangent. Tell them about this about your parents. Tell them about because I'm manic and very traumatized. So obviously I'm like, well, so I catch myself and I'm like, well, no, obviously we're going to use the apple cider vinegar. I've been using it for 24 hours now. I can't say it's definitely working, but they've definitely got no worse, and I trust that it will. I'm also using it on the verruca. But what is incredible and what I can vouch for is this. So mouth infection pops back 2 days ago. I'm like, oh, God damn, I'm going to end up poisoning my gut biome again, and all the rest of the stuff. You know, I have no idea what it does, but, you know, it's definitely not going to be good.
She's like, yeah, just, she's like, if it's really bad, like if it's at the point where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm in, like it's too late, you're in agony, you need to go to the pharmaceuticals, then you get, which obviously everyone should do, always trust your doctor. This is just a madman's story. Don't listen to anything I say. I'm just a YouTuber. Always trust your doctor. She says, get a syringe of oxygenated water, maybe with baking soda. I'm not sure if it was with baking soda or not. And squirt it like into the gaps of the teeth where you think the infection has started. And she's like, that will clear it even when it's really bad. But I'm not at that stage. I'm at the stage where my mouth is just starting to get bigger. So basically pus is occurring in gums and skin. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? So basically I've done nothing at this point of the story about my mouth for this new time. And I know this pattern, I know this infection, I've dealt with it many times. Not well. You know, copping out, taking the easy route, even though I know that it's very detrimental for the body. Anyway, I'm 12 hours away from like pain, basically. I'm 12 hours away from having to, in my old story, having to go to a pharmacy. And then I meet her. And she tells me all this. And then, so all I've done, so she says before it's, you know, when it's at the stage that I was at, so before it's like painful and your glands are swollen and your mouth's expanded and it's just horrendous, swill the area with preferably alkaline water, but, you know, just water and baking soda and drink grapefruit juice. So I'm like, girl, where you think I'm going to find a grapefruit from in Siem Reap when I've been here for 12 hours? You know, it's not an abundantly available fruit in, I'm going to say Southeast Asia. I don't know if I've ever seen one. But, you know, I'm sure I could search one out. But in the meantime, I certainly will swill my mouth with baking soda. I think I've done it 3 times. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's completely gone. There's 2 areas. So we're talking wisdom tooth. Is that the back tooth? Is that the last tooth? Anyway, so it's the last 2 teeth that it occurs in. It's the gap in between. There's obviously, well, you know, I'm sure there's cosmic reasons going on. But if we're just talking on a 3D level, like I assume there's a gap or so. I don't know what's going on. I mean, really, I need to go to a dentist and get it looked at. And Lee has recommended one. He says it's a really good one here. Oh, dear. So on either side of those teeth, obviously you've got the gums underneath the teeth. That's where it starts. And then it goes to the back, and then it goes to this gland here. So they were both starting to pussify and expand. Gone. Completely gone. Baking soda. It seems that baking soda is, obviously, this is just woo-woo, don't take my word for it, always ask your doctor, but you know, I can't not share my experience, but baking soda has, for me, but of course won't necessarily work for you, always ask your doctor, it's just wonderful. I mean, so I now brush my teeth in it. I mean, I just use it for, I don't use it for everything, I just use it for these 2 things. But it seems to come up a lot, like whenever you're searching for woo-woo cures that don't really work, never ever try them, always ask your doctor. But whenever you're searching in that realm, baking soda is so prevalent. And then obviously washing your clothes in it, washing your pots in it. Like, I mean, it's just a wonder powder, and it's cheap as chips, as David Dickinson would say, who's probably a baby munching pedo. Allegedly, not even allegedly, in fact, that was a joke. There's no evidence to say he is, other than he's on TV, so he probably is. But obviously, it's all alleged. There's no evidence for it whatsoever. I'm sure he's a very nice man, but he's never fiddled with any children. So Liz is the only one that can acknowledge high vibrational music, because you all are T-ed. We've got Debbie in. Of course, she's the one that confirmed it's loud and clear, because she's not totally dribbling at the mouth. Thank you for confirming. Don't know what you're on about. Don't know what you're on about. Fantastic. Oh, wow. So people are actually helping now. I think there's more demons on English Refugee. I think that's the one to be watching it on if you are #1 moderator rather than lazy ass moderator that does no moderating. I just made you a moderator without even asking Liz. You do whatever you want. There is no obligation whatsoever. So I think I've covered that. As long as you get it out of a weasel's ass, it's the best. There's going to be people like, oh my God, he's drinking out of a weasel's ass. Like, yeah, it's the best. Like, get over yourself. You know, Anne, who was recently featured on English Refugee, she's so fucking boring. She's so unfair, man. We still text. I don't know why. I don't know why I let her in. When I told her I was coming here, she was like, oh, what's your plan, timescales, control? And I was like, I don't plan, I just flow. And then, you know, but it was a paragraph. And she just put, okay. She can't do it at all. So she's moving to Cambodia and she's so scared of snakes. Like, she's just scared of life. You know, she's just so scared of life. But, you know, actually, you know, as people go, she's very high on the, you know, she's living in Vietnam. She's an amazing person, but, you know, we are talking about, you know, the scale of Gibraltar. So, oh God, it's so good, that coffee, man. I could just throw it in my face. But probably would regret it. Right, Vic, I need a new camera. I've just broke my camera. Is there anything you can do about that? So, Vic, you've actually bought me, so I found, you know, good coffee at reasonable prices. You've actually bought me, like, you know, it's the same price as everywhere else. So you bought me 4 or 5 of these, so thanks for that. But can you buy me a new camera now? Is that possible? I've just broke my camera. It's kind of important. So $500? Does that sound good? I'm doing good, thanks, Vic. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good, except for the fact I just broke my camera. So this apartment is 450 and it's top end. Very, very good. You're not going to get much cheaper, you know. Siem Reap's, I mean, obviously I've only been here 48 hours and getting my head around it. Obviously, if you're willing to live in a wooden box, then you can probably live in Siem Reap. I mean, I've definitely seen apartments in Siem Reap for less than $200. But you won't want to live in them. If you really, and I know, well, I don't know actually. If you really want to live cheap as chips, there's a property in Nambam, which I've done a special feature video on. You'll have seen me on the balcony if you watch Tom Great Hits. And I might have even released a video where I point at where I'm staying. So if you just watch Tom Great Hits, you know, wake the fuck up if you're not. And watch it for this reason as well. So basically, the cabin I was staying in Nambam, not luxury at all, but in the jungle, just incredible. But in the jungle is an exaggeration. Looking at the jungle, in the jungle, but you know, you can walk into a town within 10 minutes, and it is a town, not a city. Or you can drive into it in a minute. £83 a month, all bills included with the internet. So, you know, you can live very cheaply out here. But if price is your main focus, i.e. you're like, I can see what's happening in the West, I haven't got a nest egg together, I can scrape together £800 a month. But Siem Reap's the best. I would say just get one of those cheap flats in Siem Reap. But, you know, there is an option where you can have all your bills and you can sleep in nature every night and have no noises disturbing you unless you class like high vibrational noises like crickets and frogs as noises. But then you wouldn't be able to live there. If you're still that suppressed where you think that nature is noise, you won't be able to live in that condition. Like, you've got to really love nature to be able to do that, i.e. be high vibrational and conscious. Or I'm not high vibrational, actually. I'm, you know, bouncing between, well, I still experience fear, I still experience all of it, but not fear, but maybe definite anxiety, which is fear. But, you know, it's only touching upon it every now and again. Basically, I'm like neutral peace, I think is my operation modus, something like that, but not that. Mandai. Stop. My basis now, and then joy can be experienced as well. Potentially love, although I don't. When I don't like using that word because, well, what's love? Like it's a word and people think they know what it means, but they're in co-addictions and they're in manipulative relationships with their parents where no one can be honest, so they don't really know what love is. It is really posh. So the guy it's a millionaire that built it, who's an absolute twat, and I hate him, and we've had a massive bust up. So he tried to create this 5-star place. It's completely flopped, and it's not 5-star. Like he's done such a bad job. So he's almost done a great job. But it's like the kitchen's got no plug sockets. I've got an extension lead to make a coffee, and he thinks it's 5 stars. Like there's just these little bits, and then there's a fucking gap in the wall in the last one. He's an alcoholic. He's almost smashed it. He's almost absolutely smashed it. I mean, it is incredible. Like the gardens, it's just outrageous. The pool, the shape of the pool, the rooftop terrace. There's trees up there. I mean, it's just stunning. But then, what's the point? It's Cambodia. It's not a sun trap. It's a flying spot. Like no one sits up there. You can't sit up there. It's all concrete. Like yeah, he's turned it into a garden. It's great, but it's still on concrete in the air in Cambodia. Like no one can use that. But then you'll get like £3 over a bottle of water, and it's like, bro, you've just spent fucking 100 grand on a roof terrace that no one uses. To be honest, I see my former self in him. I spent 200 grand on a community centre and then would obsess over how much a pencil cost. That's not very good, is it, for you guys? Beep, 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 beep. I can't believe I burnt my camera. Let me just see if it's working now. Come on. Oh my God, this is terrible. It won't spin round. So it's working. I'm using it right now. I'm using it right now. Vic, $500. I'm using it right now, but the gimbal, I just can't believe I did it. Why do I do these things? The reason is because it's all just, do you want to trust more? Do you want to trust more? Do you still want to get upset about these things? Do you still want to get stressed about these things? Do you still want to shame yourself? Do you still want to worry about money? Or do you want to just laugh every time something happens and know that I will replace it because you are me and I am you and we are I am. We are one. You can create anything you want in this world. You are born with the same amount of creation as God because you are God. We all are. We're all part of it all. So it's all just like deepening into that. And obviously you create, you, one, I am, same thing. You create this to show you, to give you the evidence of it. You'll never, it's not about belief, but I'm going to use that word. You'll never flow with it until you experience it. Oh, can I do this justice? I don't know if I can do this justice. So when you're awakening, when we're still in pleb state, you need evidence to flow about, but most people use the word belief, but belief is obviously disempowered. Like, why do you want to believe? Don't you want to know? So you need evidence to know, but then it switches to you need to trust to know. So then it kind of becomes, believing is like, why am I even using that word? I'm going to leave it there. The ones that need to know that will understand what I meant. If you don't understand it, you're not ready for it. Mate, yeah, so thank you. Camera now. Okay, Liz. Thanks, Tom. Yes, I don't mind being a tool. Oh, God, I love her so much. Liz, can you email me a picture of you? preferably figging yourself off. That's an absolute joke. I definitely don't want to see you figging yourself off. I think you're old. I think you're at least 50. I definitely don't want to see your crusty, dried up prune. Yeah, of course your husband's a strong man. He's amazing. He's amazing. I can just feel it because you're amazing. And of course, she just lets it bounce off her. Oh God, it's so funny how because they get upset by everything. They get triggered by everything because obviously they can't go internal, so they have to have this, dramatic response to everything. Emotional, to say in the external. It's not even because they can't really feel their emotions, but they can stay in the response. So anger, something like that. But when you've done the work, as Debbie is doing and has done all her life, really, without consciously knowing it, bounces off. We see you, demon, and we do not dance with you. I really hope that's not serious. I really hope that's not serious. I mean, maybe you know more than me. So, oh yeah, of course, they will be kept in cages. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got this nice, I'm thinking it's this. Oh, we're in the forest and we're following the weasels around. Oh, one's done a shit. Let's go. No, of course it's not that. They're all in cages, aren't they? And they're getting force fed. Yeah, good point. I'm talking about this. No need for animal cruelty with a coffee, dude. Blue hair, septum energy. But actually, makes a good point. Well done. Tree hugger. I'm going to keep doing it because it tastes really good. I got a spurgy routine of making coffee every time I had a bifter and nearly had a caffeine heart attack. Oh my God, the coffee bifter combo. So towards the end of my time smoking, that got really challenging last night. Maybe I'll speak about that. Before my time, all right. So the last 2 weeks, I started finding it too much actually. Because they're two complete opposites. We've got an upper and a downer happening at the same time. Which always feels really good when you're effed up. So, oh no, that's not true. I was going to use the word, alcohol is a downer. Yeah. So like when your nervous system is all over the place, I guess that's what it's related to. It is kind of a guess, but it's also based on, what feels quite obvious. Then obviously your internal reflects your external, so you love the the craziness. So, the upper and the downer, like they're the best combination ever. What we're talking about? Yeah. So on a lesser level to that, a less traumatized level where you need like heavy external escapism to the point where you're doing that, like I did for 10 years, 15 years even. Oh, I loved it. I just loved it. I loved having a drink, having a snort, and having a fist. It was, I still think it was a peak moment of my life when I had a bioweapons fist up my ass. But those days are over now, sadly. What a shame. So until 2 weeks ago, a coffee and a jingo were like peak, like that first one in the morning, or preferably the first one of the day. But hopefully it's not in the morning, because then you're not really enjoying it. You're just like absolute survival, which is not a criticism, like it's just part of the process of being human. If for an awakened one, for one that's going to be awakened, for an old soul, for the black sheep, for the ADHD diagnosed, it's the best. Then obviously you're going to, because you're special in an insane R-worded world, SPAC world, you're going to need peak escapism until you do the work and realize that, oh no, I'm here to be a shining light and these demons are irrelevant. So all that to say, I agree with what I think you're saying. And it is a wonderful combination. But for the last 2 weeks, I couldn't do it. It was one or the other. Coffee in the morning and then joints in the evening. I mean, basically, I got to a point where I couldn't smoke in a day. Oh, gosh. So I'm meeting, right, so, okay, let's talk about Siem Reap. Siem Reap's out of this world. It's incredible. The people, like, so Cambodians, the Siem Reapians, the Khmer's closest, I think. Why am I so spack? I can't say words. I can't even speak English, so I've got no chance. And there's still 71 of you listening to me. How desperate are you? My goodness. 45 minutes and no donations, guys. This is a very poor performance. Very poor performance. And you know, it's going to have to be Debbie, isn't it? You're all relying on Debbie again, you absolute scumbags. So, and I guess Rick's out checking his cash machine and he's about to drop his 500 in for a new camera, right, Rick? Right, Rick? Right, Rick. Have you had some sort of, what's happened, Rick? You seem to be nice today. Like, what's going on? Have you been able to take some accountability? Have you, I think I was talking about something. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about something. Have you managed to, you know, see how much projection you're in, how you made up a whole story? You seem to be in a different energy today, so hopefully there's been some sort of self-reflection, maybe, but I think you're still insane and possessed. But if you buy me a camera, then I'll still be authentic and real and tell you what you are. But I would really appreciate you buying me a camera. Siem Reap. So, you know, in fact, there's no need to talk about the locals for this story because it's not them that I really want to get. So basically, I want to get onto the fact that there is Mary Jane, the green herb all around me, being smoked up constantly. Not by Lee, but by many other people. Right, so Lee's apartment is literally below me, and obviously it's a hub of consciousness, and there's all these seekers and way showers coming and sitting at his door constantly. So obviously I'm meeting loads of incredible people and making friends. So I went down, like actual friends, what the fuck. So there's something about Siem Reap, it's an absolute portal. I mean, Angkor Wat is obviously here for a reason, and you can see it in the people, and I'm not saying like super awake and conscious or anything, I don't know, because it's a totally different culture, but what I can absolutely confirm is massive open hearts, very heart-based community, very smiley, very chilled out, beautiful way of life. Everyone seems to be very happy and sexy. We'll get onto that. Like they're sexy, man. You know, I don't usually find browns very sexy, but these, woo! But I think it's their energy more than anything. But it's more than that. Like they've got cheekbones. They've actually got cheekbones. It's not like someone's just got a pan and gone pam, 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 pam. Like most Asians. Like they're really good looking. They've got features. No, I don't think I even know his name. I mean, if you listen to him, obviously I'm not going to. It's going to be retard stuff. This is a joke, right? Oh dear, I can't believe people are still watching it. I just can't believe people are still watching it. I mean, it's not an England team, it's an African team. It's a satanic ritual, as they showed you in the opening ceremony, as the referees have shown you, as they keep dropping satanic signs in front of the camera and winking. I did briefly go on X yesterday, and there was that crazy incident in the Argentina game. But I mean, it's all fixed. Like, why are you watching a fixed bed and circuses? Like, you absolute spack. So boring. Like, how can you still watch this shit? And they're literally dropping satanic symbols in front of the camera, and you don't pick up on it. And when they start the game, they put a fucking flat Earth on the. I don't know if it was an opening game only, or if they're doing this in every game, because I haven't watched a minute of it, and it just repulses me. But certainly for the opening game, there was a big flag on the pitch with a flat Earth on it and the ice wall. Like, they're showing you everything, and you're just like, England! I want to watch a load of bioweapons in England shirts that represent the destruction of my homelands. Come on, bioweapons! Yeah, it should be a law by 2050. Yeah! You fucktard. Can you not see what's happening to your lands? And you're fucking clapping for Africans, you absolute moron! Fuck me, man. Yeah, that's why you watch me and I make lots of money off you. Jim Dandy, not having an abscessed tooth, man. Bad for your heart. Oh my God, you're telling me to get a root canal. Oh my God. You need to do some research into root canals, bro. Like, they're the worst thing ever. I can't quite remember, but obviously everything connects. And everyone who, or maybe not everyone, but I can't speak into it, but they're terrible. Like, they're the most demonic thing ever. They absolutely screw your nervous system up, and you're recommending it, and you think you're enlightened. Jim Dandy sent me some WhatsApp messages, and I'm just like, I don't want to engage because you're so egoic. And like, yeah, you've been nice for 24 hours, but you think I'm going to let you in after you've just been so egoic and just awful. And then you're also stupid, mate. The hydrogen, it's worked, it's done, it's finished, it's over, it's worked. So so he's trying to tell me to get a root canal, which is literally one of the worst things you can do. It's basically it's almost on these levels. Like, it's absolute. I need to stop using the word satanic and demonic because everything's in service and there's no good or bad anyway. But, you know, seeing as most of you are retarded, as Jim is clearly showing here, I will keep using it. Root canals are so evil. That's a better word. They're so evil. I just can't believe, because I thought on a 3D level, I thought you were on it, mate, but you're not even that. So no, I'm not going to listen to your WhatsApp messages. I'm not going to let you back in. You don't deserve me. Liz knows. Cloves! She knows. She fucking knows. She's been banging on about cloves. That's meant to say cloves. She's misspelled that. I'm pretty sure. That's meant to be a C, not a G. Rinse with warm salt water and chew on cloves. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think baking soda is probably better than salt, but I'm not gonna. She's a Wiccan, man. Of course, she fucking knows. So I'm sure she knows more. But I do think the woman I got that information off is totally on this stuff as well. Probably makes no difference. I imagine so both of you have said cloves. So I imagine if you're chewing cloves, it makes no difference if you're using warm salt water or in my case, cold baking soda water, but warm does actually make a lot more sense. She didn't mention warm, but that does absolutely make sense. There you go. She's confirming that she meant cloves. Hey man, great to have you here. I've had to just read a Jim Dandy comment, which has just made me lose all hope for humanity. So it's really good to have you in the chat because you are opposite. You're actually enlightened and properly enlightened. Jim Dandy hasn't even cracked. I mean, I haven't looked at the messages, but you know, it's going to be like trying to teach me, and he thinks root canal. Oh my God, like root canals. It's honestly, that is like saying going and getting a jib. That is like putting in the comments, seriously, not as a joke. Go and take the jib jab. That is what he's just done. I don't think so. I mean, there's loads of people watching me. I'm smashing it. So again, projection of the jealous office worker. I mean, you're a bit funny one because you claim to have had a following yourself, which I haven't looked into because I just don't care. And you're speaking about external boring stuff. I mean, you're trying to say that you're saying that this channel is all made up and is a grift. You actually said, yeah, it's a massive spiritual grift. Like, I mean, you just have no connection to anything. And not even, forget awakening and all that, because obviously that's way beyond you right now. You don't even have a sense of reality. Like like, it makes no sense. The grift would obviously be Not Today Satan. Like, that's for masses. That hits the masses. It's fear-based. Everyone fucking loves it. It gives them dopamine hits. And I started this channel when I was doing Not Today Satan, which has 40,000 subs. It's another channel I'm talking about. It's coming back in a few days. But I'm not even really going to use it because it's not purpose, because I'm absolutely not a grifter, because grifting doesn't even exist unless you're an office worker. They're the grifters. They're the service to selfers. This whole the word grifting has just been made by jealous office workers who are enslaved and disempowered and can't stand to see somebody creating their own existence. Ah, wicked. And it's not Debbie. I'm really glad to see that. It's my newest member. That's going to get me 2 bags of coffee, man. Thank you so much. RP Nitro, yeah, can you tell us a bit about you if you want to? You know, a name would be good. I hate saying things like RPM Nitro, but, you know, I'll do it. Especially if you're sending me shekels. Oh, my goodness, I'll do anything for shekels. Would you like to poke me in the bum? So that's the next 2 bags of coffee, RPM Nitro. Thanks so much. I'd just like to know more about you because I like to connect with my members and my Patreon members. And it just helps, you know, have a face, a sex, a name, an age. Tatis, Thailand. I lived off-grid in the jungle for 4 years. That's a good start. People came to visit saying it's so loud at night. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. They live in the cities with beeping and they fall asleep to their TV with blue screens screaming at them. And then they get into nature and complain. Yeah. It's just proof that everything's vibration. Because they don't notice low vibrational human noises like horns beeping or loud music or whatever, because they are of low vibration. So there, you know, Lee's got the Hawkins chart, I think it's called, or something like that. Well, it's all just perfectly explained. You know, it's got the dimensions here, it's got the emotions here, and then it's got like, I don't know even what you call them, but like humiliation next to shame, for example. So that's an emotion. What is that? Is that an outcome of emotion? I don't know what you call that, anger and humiliation and stuff. Reaction. It's got the reaction. And it's got all sorts of stuff on it. It's just like everything's in line. So if you're in fear and then a cricket starts vibrating love, you hate it. Because you can't, you know, it's like it's pulling you out of your resonance that you're used to. Like you can't stand it. But it's incredible to witness as an awakened one. I couldn't understand. Well, I've just explained it for you. But it was the bugs and the insects and generally the sound of nature. It's just, I mean, how bad has it got? And it's not their fault. You know, it's been done to them. It kind of is their fault as well. It's not their fault, but it happens to them because, you know, we live in an evil system. If you still believe in evil and righteous. Well, you know, it actually is true on one level. So let's just acknowledge that. And from the perspective of this chat, it is true. And as well, I see it. You know, I'm not saying I'm totally out of it. So they've been attacked by evil. So it's inevitable that they'll be in this place. But the blame comes with a lack of responsibility because everyone has the opportunity to do what I'm doing and what Lee has done. Albus has had a little sneaky peek at Lee's channel, sneaky peek, and left some comments. Oh, Albus, you're leading in. Very good. Always very impressed to see any of my people on Lee's channel because it is a whole nother level. Now, I'm about to introduce you to someone. Sadly, he's only done 30 videos, but I'm hoping that, you know, he's only got 30 subscribers, so if 70, when I share his video, I imagine about at least 70 of you are going to jump onto his channel because this guy's phenomenal. Now, Lee is his teacher, so he's not as good as Lee, but he's much more accessible. You know, it's not like, you know, I think most people in this chat, or let's say most Tom Greatorex viewers, maybe not English refugee viewers, but most Tom Greatorex viewers, he's a Yorkshireman as well, will understand everything this guy says. He'll expand you. You'll be like, oh shit, I didn't realize that. But you won't. But you'll understand. Whereas a lot of you will watch Lee and project onto him that he's making stuff up because you just can't comprehend it. Or you'll be wise enough to just be like, okay, I'm not ready for this. But not many people can do that. Most people do a Rick or a Jim and do the person down and tell themselves that they're the enlightened one. I can see how Jim's ego convinces him because he's got a lot of knowledge, but like when it's someone like Rick, claims to have his third eye open, but then says anything spiritual is grifting. How does that work, Rick? Buy me a camera. He's gone. He got rehomed. I tried to go and steal him, rescue him, but it could have looked like stealing to somebody of a very low consciousness, because I was going to go and steal him. Me funny. And so I'd hatched a plan, and that day they rehomed him. I mean, I really hope it's true. Or they sold him for dog meat, I don't know. So yeah, not much I can do about that anymore. And I'm now in a different country. And I know you're trying to shame me, but it won't work. Now, I saw you do something retarded. What did you do? I had to dislike one of your comments. What did you say? So I really like this guy, C Pleb. And I am just going to call you that until you change your name, because it's so bad. But I don't mean I think you're a pleb, but you did leave an awful comment. What was it? I can't remember, but it's very rare that I thumbs down a comment. Because if it's a hater, I can't even be bothered to really clear. I mean, I might just put dum-dum underneath, like my ego still wants to give something back, but I'm getting to a point where I can just ignore them. I don't even bother clicking the dislike button. But with you, I thought, it was important to show you how wrong you were, but I can't remember what you said. What did you say? What were you talking about that I disliked? And if you have any sort of integrity and are anywhere on the consciousness scale, you'll be able to put it in the chat and we'll be able to talk about it because you'll know that I'm not here to humiliate you. I'm here to delve in and break down and reflect. So there was a comment you made recently that was, I don't think it was nasty, because you're way past that. It was just stupid, I think, but I can't remember it all. But I know that I had to, and I was shocked. I was like, this is one of my favorites. Oh my God, what they're doing. So I did it to try and help you. And I think I wrote a response as well, but I have no idea what it was. Can you please let me know? Yeah, 56. What you like. I thought that said, do what you like. I was like, what will strongman leader have to say about that? I love you too, Al. You're a Patreon member, aren't you, Al? Ooh. Well, you're here right now, so what are you talking about? Just so delusional, so delusional. It's unbelievable. These people just make anything up so they can not crack, so they can tell themselves that they're okay. And in this guy's case, like, my third eye is open, but all spirituality is shilling. All right, well, that's not a projection, is it? Seeing as you think I called you a shill, even though I didn't. Where's the camera money, Rick? I'm just going to block you if you don't send money, because there's no point in being here if you're not sending money. My pleasure. I like your name very much. Happy 4th of July. What's that? Is that Independence Day? Which obviously is, a massive satanic ritual. $5 on Tom. Why don't you just give a $5 to Tom? Oh, here we go. He's going to try and do down the best place in the world. Siem Reap is a tourist destination and an expat. Okay, maybe he's not. Sorry about that. Siem Reap is a tourist destination, absolutely, and co-op brings in the tourists, except the UK government, in all of their wisdom and glory, has issued a travel warning on Cambodia over the war with Thailand, which my understanding is actually in a ceasefire. And even if it isn't in a ceasefire, it's right on the border. Thailand isn't going to start dropping bombs on Siem Reap. Like, no, it's a slow, creep land grab. They're not going to do stuff that's going to get international people involved, other governments involved. So sadly, it obviously it got slammed in the Great Shutdown, the planned destruction of middle classes and business, and trying to get you all on universal basic income and into communism. But it isn't really communism, obviously, it's just elites and peasants. So it really suffered with that, as all, tourist countries did. And then it's just recovering from that, and they issue, I spoke to a guy who opened a fish and chip shop on the same day that they issued the no travel warning. and hotels are closing. His fish shop, he hasn't, you know, he hasn't made a penny. In fact, I'm sure he's lost lots of money. Yeah, so basically, tourism-wise, Cambodia is really struggling. You know, they've just invested in. I did a video in what I think is the best airport in the world, the Techno International. Invested millions, maybe even billions, but definitely millions, mega millions. It's fantastic. It's the best airport I've ever seen in my life. And they predicted numbers, which I can't remember, but basically they're operating a third of those predictions. So it's a disaster. I think Cambodia is reeling. I mean, I don't know, but you know, I think it's safe to say that Cambodia is really struggling financially due to the great shutting down that people refer to as some sort of pandemic, but actually no. The pandemic was the lockdown. Like when people say, remember, like when this happened in COVID, no, it wasn't COVID. You know, some people, I know they're crazy, and you always should trust the science. Believe in the science, or you just have to believe in it like a religion now. But what did the damage wasn't a virus. I mean, some people say that didn't even exist, but you know, let's say it did exist, because of course it did. What did the damage was the lockdown, and of course, you know, you know, if you did that, then you deserve to be off anyway. Michael Buck, I recognize your name. Have you donated in the past? Dude, I had a heart attack twice within days of tooth removal from dentist, confirmed. Yeah, it's, I can't remember the details, but if you put root canal into X, I think I saw it on X, it's shocking. It's shocking, and it's dentists talking about it, you know, it's shocking what this does to you. Ah, right. Right, it's coming back to me. It featured a load of people who were in agony, like with back problems, like agony, couldn't walk, like their lives were over. And there was this one guy who worked out what it was. And he basically noticed that all these people, one doctor, all these people who were coming to him with like severe, let's say, spinal problems and other things, but this is a bit I can remember, they'd all had root canal treatment. So obviously he starts researching it. Well, not obviously, because not many doctors would actually do this. I'm not researching it because there is no research. Like, this guy is the one that broke it. But he got to a point where he realized that it was the root canals, and he took them out, and these people just started walking again. Like, it's absolute. I noticed the dandy has gone quiet because he's been exposed as a retard again, like I do every time. And yeah, oh no, he's still here. Explain it. Well, I've just done it. You're so dumb, man. You think you're enlightened, and you're not even intelligent. And you are intelligent, but right. So you just haven't seen the truth about root canals. But I mean, to be recommended, and you're the guy that came in this fucking chat. So this is a live streamed gym, and people ask me questions. I don't come on here with researched books like you do. And I spoke into the nervous system off someone's question. He's like, you shouldn't speak about something you don't know. And here he is telling people to get. In fact, I'm so close to blocking you, Jim. I really dislike you. So, last night I liked you though, but tonight I really dislike. I mean, to be recommending root canals, and you're going to keep arguing about it because you never surrender. You have never surrendered. You don't even know what it is. You've never ever cracked. You're completely of the ego. It's so fucking obvious. And you're recommending root canals, and you're going to defend it. You're going to keep defending it because you can't possibly take accountability or self-reflect on anything. Did I finish this? Siem Reap is a tourist destination and an expat paradise. Okay, great, well done. Yeah, it's not a quiet place that you were looking for. No, it's not. But it is what I'm looking for. It's exactly what. Right. So what I'm looking for is irrelevant. It's where I'm taken. And I've been taken, bearing in mind, I've just been in Vietnam. So I went to Vietnam to experience all my anger, all my projection, and, you know, genuine, you know, what the fuck. To experience extreme chaos, extreme noise, to meet that body worker, which was obviously all part of it. So basically, go into the anger that's covering your heart. Here's the body worker. Link, link, link. Synergy, synergy, synergy. Feel it all. Release it. Which obviously I haven't released it all, as you can see when Jim puts his demonic crap in here. Tangents. But then this is also what makes the content good. So don't worry about it. Even if it means we have to have these pauses, the tangents are worth it. And it can't be any other way because that's how your mind works. So everything happens for a reason. Heart opens. Meet Lee. Actually booked the ticket to Siem Reap in the morning before I even know that Lee lives in Siem Reap. I then asked him, "Are you in England?" Because he releases some old videos from England, and he's like, "No, I'm in Cambodia. I live in Siem Reap." I'm like, "Oh, I've just booked a ticket to Siem Reap. That's cool." Now I live above him. Mental. But not mental. Mental to the conditioned mind. Totally symbiotic, synergetic, and in synchronicity. And because you realize that actually everything's very simple. To the mind, everything's very confusing and complex and makes no sense. But actually, no. Well, once you become embodied, and I'm not saying I'm fully embodied, but I'm embodied enough to see the simplicity of everything. So now my heart is open. It's brought me to a very heart-open place. And suddenly I'm like, oh, actually, I don't think I do want to be a recluse. I think I want friends. And suddenly, right, so I go down there yesterday. I don't really want to go down there. So he's got 4 people around. He knocks on my door and he's like, oh, there's people here. You should come down. I'm like, ooh, people. So then I'm like, well, I can probably get some good content out of it. All right, let's do it. Let's go and talk to these plebs that Lee is teaching. So I sit down with a Yorkshireman called Michael. And I think we're about to create some English refugee content. I want to do a, hey, Michael, what's your story? When did you leave UK? Why did you leave UK? Which countries have you been to? Yada, yada. Tell us your surface level life story. And for 10 minutes it was that, but like straight away, this guy, like he's a comedian. He's an actual comedian, amateur. He does stand up. Honestly, like people say I should do stand-up. Like when you see this guy, you'll see why I'm not doing stand-up. Like this guy's so much better than me. And I'm going to give you all his YouTube in this video. You'll get it. The video ends up being an hour and 7 minutes long. I'm expecting it to be 10, 15 minutes. Well, I don't go in with expectations, but that was my expectation. If I'd have asked myself a question. So the first 10 minutes is what I expected in terms of, and obviously it's that because I'm asking questions and directing it, but it's not your normal, like, I'm Tom and I left the UK because of this, and like, of the character, the persona, the delusion. Like straight away, you can just see this guy's flowing, he's authentic, he's so funny. So funny. You can't be a stand-up comedian if you can't do expressions, if you can't mimic accents. I can't even speak. I can't mimic. I can't even do an Indian. Like I can do the sa, but I can't even speak Indian, which is dead easy to do. This guy can just naturally, like he can mimic all the accents. He's hilarious. So even the first 10 minutes of this video are fantastic. And then he just goes. And suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm not the wise one here. I'm a puddle on the floor in comparison to this man. Wow, he's amazing. And he's from the Yorkshire Dales, I just think is cool. Obviously like to find a fellow Yorkshireman. So suddenly I'm going to have to be friends with this guy. Oh my God, that's another one. So I seem to have made 4 friends in 2 days when I've not made any friends in 4 years. Apart from Lee and Jeroen. But I don't think Jeroen and I are really friends anymore. I mean, we are, but I don't see why we're going to stay in touch really. Like, I don't think there's anything there really. I don't think we can serve each other. He's not ready for my wisdom. And, I don't think he has any wisdom. That's not true, but he can't serve me. Yeah, it's so obvious to anyone that isn't just off the ego and trying to advise, and then we'll get defensive when we say something stupid. Here we go. Oh no, he's already done that one. He's just going to stay defensive. I can guarantee it. He's not going to self-reflect in any way. And now he'll be Googling to try and prove me wrong. Like he's just completely of the ego. He can't be seen to be wrong. You know, it's the worst thing for the ego. And this man is completely, 100% hasn't cracked one little bit of the ego. Alba's Adventures is showing her wisdom. I think warm salt water helps get rid of mouth bacteria, and it's cooled down boiling water. That's how I did it, but I might be wrong. I don't think you are wrong. I think you're right. I feel like, and it's just a feeling, not a knowing at all, that baking soda is going to be even better than salt. But I think they're basically going to be doing the same thing. I mean, they're both antibacterial, but baking soda's got that shh element, hasn't it? Is this a retard? Trying to teach me, yeah, nice one. You'd rather be stuck in your ways. No one can tell you anything right because everyone else is wrong. Are you talking to me? I mean, I'm always, so the issue you've got is I am very wise, and compared to most people, and if that's directed at me, definitely you, I'm enlightened. But I'm not really. But for you, I'm enlightened. And so that triggers you so much, you're unable to see me constantly take accountability, constantly show my shadow, as in I'm aware of this shadow. Obviously, I'm also showing a shadow I'm not aware of. You know, I'm constantly I'm constantly telling you where I'm wrong. Constantly. And yet you can project to this level. It's incredible. But it's not incredible, it's actually very simple and makes complete sense because you're... Right, we'll give Jim Dandy one last chance, but I doubt it. There's nothing left of the infection afterward, Sam. Oh, I know, he's talking to somebody else. Gargling with... So this is the thing, he does also have some knowledge, but the thing is, right, this guy has some knowledge, he's just not delved into root canal stuff, so we'll let him off of that. The problem is he won't surrender, and he hasn't cracked his ego one little bit. Gargling with salt water or cloves or whatever else may superficially improve it. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Right, let's block him, He's done. Let's time him out. Because he, you know, in some ways he does contribute. Oh God. Oh God, he's so disgusting. And the reason is like the asleep pussy. Because he has so much potential. He has all the gifts. He's been gifted. High intellect, and he's done that with it. What? Liber Polko, so this is Jeff, and then his second name begins with B. If you want to find him, then he's, I'm not going to say it because YouTube hates him. But he's amazing. If you're still wanting breakdowns of the 3D, even though he's absolutely not of the 3D, he's like, whoa. But he does still delve into it for you. Then, well, just Google Liber Poco and then find out who's organizing it and find him on X. He's fantastic. He's in August. I'm not sure of the exact date. I'm considering going. I need to try the Tesla machine before dropping 11 grand. I'm in Hawaii, but looking for another place to be. Same Meep. Come to Siem Reap. It sounds like we could be friends. I'll introduce you to Lee and he'll way show you. I don't think I need to. I trust it. Everyone who talks about it, you know, even Gareth Ike, he doesn't talk about it, but he does that. I haven't watched his videos for a while. I don't know if he's still doing it, but there's always that starting clip in his videos for the Tesla machine, which is risky, man, because YouTube don't want that being exposed. Well, the people who own YouTube don't want, because it's plasma technology, which Lee talks about plasma all the time, like on a way that I definitely can't repeat it. But plasma is, there's no point me even talking into it, but you know, it's basically the start of, you know, it's involved in the creation of life, and it's high light vibration, and the Tesla machine uses light to administer the plasma, is my understanding from the videos I've seen. It's got these massive light bulbs on the end of cords, electric wires. I don't even know if they're electric wires. I assume they are. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But I trust Jeff Burt, that guy, 100%. I can see, so obviously Gareth is very of the external, but my God, he's like very good at it, like really good at it. But look at Gareth Ike's eyes, like they're shining blue. I think I just did the horrible sign, but anyway, it's programmed into us all. I'm going to stop shaming myself for it. So programmed into us. Like, I didn't even know I was doing it until someone pointed it out, and then I was like, oh, I do that all the time. So Gareth, you know, when you look at Gareth's eyes, clearly he has a Tesla machine because he's, you know, putting that clip at the start of his videos, and his eyes are like shining gods. Then there's Max Egan, who's a bit of a funny one because, like, obviously he's fantastic at what he does, but he's physically not very well. But he doesn't use it. He doesn't use it. He's got one and doesn't use it. I think he's just started using it more. I just feel it. I just know. And if it is a scam, 11 grand, who gives a fuck? Like, it's just fucking bits of paper. You know, for having the trust and spending that money, you'd be rewarded anyway. Rewarded is the wrong word. It's not, because that makes it sound like there's some man up there watching you and taking notes. You would lean into parts of yourself that you haven't yet, and you would feel them, and you would create space in yourself to allow a high vibration in. That's a much better way of saying it than be rewarded. Oh hell! I easily admittedly is Mauser. Oh God! Like, it's not even a question. Like, it's not even a question. You know, if you're not going to Lee as a pupil, then you're wasting your time and you're off your ego. Like, the man is I am. He's I am. He's genuinely I am. Like, Jeroen made claims around I am. He's not. He's I am not. Lee is I am. He's fully there. He's merged. He's completely merged. He's unbelievable. You're going to see him on Tom Greatorex. Well, you've got his channel, but obviously I think it's not going to be accessible for many views. They're going to get the same sort of views as a bodyworker, maybe slightly higher, because there's not even dopamine hits. Yeah, probably less. Might even lose me subscribers because it's going to be a lot. You know, people. They're either going to have to realize that that there's people that are just so far beyond them and really on the scale of things they know absolutely nothing, which obviously is great if you can acknowledge that, because that's when you'll start knowing something. But, you know, most people's ego, Jim Dandy being a perfect example, can't do that. The Sleep Pussy is another great example. No, he's absolutely the real deal. Absolutely the real deal. I mean, it's just people at his door all the time. Like, he's like Jesus. He's just he's just amazing. So I gave him $100 today because it's just like, you're giving me all this and you don't have an income. Like, he's got, you know, he's got, you know, and he's I am, so he's, you know, it don't really matter. But I asked him why he doesn't charge. I was like, I asked him some 3D questions. I was like, so how do you make money? And he's like, I don't. And he's like, if people want to give me money, then of course, that's great. But I'm not going to ask for it, or, you know. There's no point me even speaking into it, because he's I am, and I can't fucking speak into it. So I just gave him $100 today. I was just like, here's some colored paper as a small token of my appreciation. And he appreciated it. And then I worked out that I've lost $200. I don't know how in the last 24. Something weird's going on. I've got all this body stuff going on. And then, you know, so I'd learned how to walk. I'd got my body not sorted, far from sorted, but I was on the journey. And now I'm hobbling about and like ruining everything I'd learned. So annoying. But also my Crocs have gone missing. And, you know, I haven't left this complex. I haven't even seen Siem yet. I've gone out on Lee's bike a couple of times, and he's got a very sexy bike. Royal Enfield, something like that. I don't wear my Crocs when I go out. I literally, you know, just use them for going and getting my Grab delivery and stuff like that. I hate using them because obviously they're very toxic. But you know, I also especially when you've got a verruca, walking on hard. Yeah, that's actually the only reason. I think. Actually, maybe walking on hard floor isn't good for you anyway. I don't know. But when you've got a really big, horrible, like, I'm really verruca. You know, Crocs with socks on, so you're not taking in the toxins, is a very good idea. Now, they were my ex's Crocs. So I don't know if there's something around letting go of, not that I ever fantasize about him or miss him or anything like that. But I don't know if it's something energetic, like they need to be taken away, like that cord needs to be cut, the invisible cord that I don't even feel. And then the day before that, in the sleeper van, on the sleeper bus, I'm in this tiny little pod, and I've got my jacket that I've had for years, Berghaus, really high quality, expensive jacket. And it just disappears. Like, stuff is just disappearing. So $200 has disappeared. My Crocs have disappeared. And my Berghaus jacket has disappeared in the last 3 days. And now I've broke my camera, and Vikeski isn't giving me any money. I think someone has given some money. Seriously, guys, I need a new camera, so some donations would be really nice. I can't believe I've just broke my camera, man. I just can't believe I've done that. Let's see if it's stopped gimbal protecting. I mean, there's a chance someone could fix it. Maybe it's not, you know, because it does work. It's just the gimbal won't spin. Oh, no. Oh, God, did you hear my bottom speak to you then? So unnecessary. But again, it's this. This is why it's happened, because I need to just be like, oh, that's happened. Okay. And there is, you know, compared to how I used to be, you know, I'd be like cursing and all sorts and punching walls. And I wouldn't be punching walls. I was never at that level. But, you know, I'd have that energy. And I'd be shaming myself. And you stupid, you idiot. So, you know, this is why it happens. So we can learn more how to just be present with everything and not let things affect us, and therefore create new space for new vibrations, higher vibrations. So, yeah, okay, fine. And I'm already there for $200. Like, it was really interesting when I was doing calculations. What have I spent money on? I've spent money on nothing. I've not left this complex, basically. I've gone and bought a few things, like coffee. I haven't even rented a bike. There's no way I've spent. So basically, I took out $600 and it's all gone. So $220 went on rent. I gave $100 to Lee, so that's $320. I spent about $80 shopping, so that's $4. Where's the other $200? There's no, like, I've been here 3 days and I haven't done anything. I haven't rented a bike. It's gone. It's just disappeared. So then you go into stories of, like, have the staff stolen it, yada, yada, yada. They haven't. They're millionaires, all the staff of the family. So the Swiss guy, so a Cambodian woman who already had children, they're not his, managed to bag this Swiss millionaire, but he's awful. Like, he's such a horrendous human being. So obviously it's all about the money. And, you know, I'm good on her. And the whole family, like, they're going to inherit, and he's going to be dead very soon. Like, he's... so, you know, so she's basically had to put up with him for, I don't know, let's say 5 to 10 years to get this for her family. I bet she can't wait for him to die. I mean, honestly, he's so bad. He's so bad, and he's disgusting, like, in every way. But, like, just let's talk physically, like, repulsive. He's like a little gremlin, like. Oh, he looks like he hasn't washed for 4 months. You know, he's disgusting. I've lost it. Let's go back to the chat. So yeah, it's pretty demotivating. I mean, thank you so much, Spiritual Warrior. But, you know, I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing this for fucking 15 quid. That's for total so far, 15 quid. But this, all right, yeah, I was talking about camera. This is a reaction. So obviously what I've just said is not trust, is not service, is service to self, is not where I want to be. Right, okay, yeah, so the 200 quid. So that would have really affected me. And I worked it out just after I'd given 100 quid to Lee. So obviously, you know, let's just call it the ego, the traumatized self, the one that wants to control, the one that doesn't want to trust, or can't trust, doesn't know how to trust, would be a better way of saying that. If that comes online and is like asking for $100 back, obviously it's a noticing. It's a noticing. It's not. It was nowhere near an action. And then I noticed that same part trying to shame me, trying to make it a big deal, trying to get stressed about it, trying to feel anger, or trying to is not even right, but you know, I can't break everything down to the nth degree. And also I don't really know, like it's just a noticing. But there's now a much bigger part of me that's like, it's fine, it's all happening for a reason, you just need to trust more. Come on, Daddy, let's go shopping, please, Daddy. That's Lee. And honestly, I'd forgotten about it until I was doing this. So it'll be the same with the camera, but the issue now is until I get it fixed, how am I going to record content? And obviously I've got my phone, so I'll do it on that, but it's going to be a real problem because I'm recording so much content. And the only way I even remotely, I mean, I shared on this chat, on Tom Greater X, I shared yesterday a video that I'd shared a month ago. I thought I'd found a new video that I'd forgotten about because it was on the camera and I thought I hadn't downloaded it yet. The truth is I just hadn't deleted it after downloading it. And I've got so much content for Tom Greater. So someone commented, I apologize on the community person. Someone made out like it was grifting and I was manipulating you all so I could buy green herbs, which I don't even smoke anymore. I mean, it's just crazy. But like if he knew how much I want to share more content, like I wish I could share 40 videos a day on Tom Greater and it was completely up to date. But I can't. Like people have only got so much time in the day to watch content. And obviously there's all the other content creators that we watch. So I don't feel like I can post more than 2 videos on the channel a day and do a fucking 3-hour live stream. So I'm basically, he's like saying, can you give me 5 hours of your time a day? It's a massive ask. So of course, one, just out of respect for the channel, respect for you guys, I would never duplicate content. Now, I might use something from you, English Refugee on Tom Greater, sure, but the content was sort of different. And there is a couple of videos coming up in English Refugee that I've fully shared on here. So for example, you've seen the full 5 minutes in the Ford garage of me doing the right thing and paying for the bumper. Well, that's going to be released as a video on English Refugee. So, but I think that's maybe the second or third time where it's literally going to be exactly the same content. But then on this channel, I spoke into it on either side of it. So it's still not the same content. When I say this channel, I mean Tom Greater, because that's where I feel this comes from. The live stream, that is, even though I put it on English Refugee as well. But we do also talk about places, so it feels like, I don't know if I'm going to put it on Not Today Satan or not when that's back, because it's totally not Today Satan content. I'm talking about something. What am I talking about? It's gone. It will come back. Was it about $200 or had I moved on from that? If somebody can let me know, I'll scroll to the bottom of the chat. What was I talking about? I feel like there was more. There was definitely more to be expressed. Ah, that's a shame. Oh, it was something around me wanting money off you, but knowing that that's not trusting, not aligned. Yeah, I think it's gone. But still, send me money. Ooh, what's this? We're talking about parasites now. This could be... oh no, Jim can't be wrong. Oh my God, he'd have to introspect. He'd have to feel himself. Oh no, we can't have that. Alex McDonald, I've not seen you for ages. I see you on Jeroen all the time. Like you're enjoying these videos. They're so bad. So I try and watch them and they're just so bad. So I've been like, I think he's done 2 good videos so far. Maybe 3. And I've been telling myself, well, it's just lack of experience. It's just lack of experience. And obviously Shadow making, you know, so he sits next to air conditioning units and traffic, like he's self-sabotaging clearly. But when I tried to watch the video today, so he's basically tried to do an English Refugee video. Also, you know, I'm not saying he's tried to be me, but he's, you know, he's of that genre, a travel vlog video. I only managed 2 minutes. It's just so bad. Like, there's no humor. It's so boring. He's showing you Phuket, which no one, you know, unless you're and I know you're not a SPAC. But you really like his content. I mean, that's great. I'm glad someone's supporting him because no one else does. And rightfully so, in my opinion, because it's absolute gash. But yeah, what are you getting out of Jeroen's content? Like, I think it's terrible. How long's this channel been going now, Mr. T? I remember the first few with the dog M, Margot. It seems like a long time ago. Are you getting close to 2 years? Right, so when you say this channel, I'll speak into all three. So I started, not today, what has become not, so this is what I'm saying to Jeroen. So Jeroen has got no following at all. He's got nothing to, in his mind, protect, even though that's obviously from fear and shouldn't even be the way anyway. But he's got nothing, YouTube-wise. Well, yeah, you could say in many ways. But YouTube-wise, he's got nothing. Now, Not Today Satan, my biggest channel, has just under 40,000 subs. But, you know, you can basically say it's got 40. We're talking like 200 under 40,000 subs. Something like that. That started as an attempt of English refugee. Like, obviously, it was horrendous. So bad. My first video, which doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. I must have deleted it out of shame, which is a real shame. I'd love to show you all. It's so funny. I'm like, I'm Tom, and I've left the UK. It's like, so I assumed that Jeroen was going to get better through experience, but he's got this very strong self-saboteur. So because I should do this because anyone is below me, but particularly because it's Lee, I'm determined to not scrape the chair. And it's heavy. It's very good quality chair. Oh God, here we go. Tangent. Stay on it, Jeroen. And I will get to your point in a minute. I haven't read it yet. I just want to speak about this. So I just assumed he was going to get better, but I've seen that there's a strong self-saboteur. And then today when I was watching, I was like, oh no, he's just crap and really boring and not designed to be a YouTuber. All right, Alex, how long? All right, so no, sorry, I'd moved. All right, but this is still linked to Jeroen. Sorry, I'd already said that. Tangents is why you watch me. I know it's frustrating, but it is ultimately why you watch me as well. Maybe not ultimately, but part of why you watch me. Come on, Sam, you can do it. We're going to need to make more coffee in a minute. Or we're just going to end the stream. I've still only 15 quid. I think we might just end the stream. I'll answer this and then end the stream unless someone puts some money in. So Jeroen is saying that he wants to try new things. I mean, it's obvious what his genre is. His genre is clearly spirituality. If he could become vulnerable with it, it might get a bit interesting. And actually serve people rather than just like, I want to be your teacher, but I don't really know much. So he's talking. So, right, Not Today Satan started off as a travel channel, became an attempt, a first attempt, or a first leaning into what Tom Greatorex now is, and then became a, let's call it an external channel. And that was like, obviously while it was growing. I mean, the first two, so the travel channel never got, I think it was 1.2 subs, 1.2 thousand subs, something like that. And then as the Tom Greatorex channel, so this is after deportation, so a spiritual philosophical channel, I think I might have got it to 3.5. And then as a external channel, conspiracy channel, truth channel, I should say, I got it to 40,000. So my point there is, one, people like to see the journey. Two, it's bloody hard to build a YouTube channel. You think that he's got a channel with 100 subs, so that obviously means nothing. No, it doesn't mean nothing. Like, it's a big achievement. Actually, getting 100 subs is a big achievement. Now, I gave him 50, but as in I promoted him and got him 50 subs. But you know, it is a big achievement, and it's a basis. You know, like you've got to grab onto that basis. Like YouTubing is a graft, not a grift. It's a graft. And okay, when you get to the level I'm at, which is still puny, but you know, you're earning a living, and you know, it's worthwhile. I could break down worthwhile, but I'm not going to go off into that tangent. I'm going to try and make this point and just try and have a bit of this energy today. Oh, shit! Not today, Satan. Right, so he is, you could say a baby soul, but that's me actually being a bit way too harsh. What I want to say there, he's a baby YouTuber. He's an inexperienced YouTuber. He has nothing to destroy. So in his mind, he's created something and has some sort of following. He doesn't. He has Alex. He just has Alex. And he now wants to try something different, which won't be any different. It will just be edited content that's exactly the same. He makes these edited, so he thinks his video, like, so he's in scarcity, complete, like that really shows up in his life. He's never made a penny in his life. And obviously that goes into his YouTube content. So, and I remember this in me where you think you can't really do this. So you value your videos way too highly, even though that doesn't even necessarily mean you think they're good, but you do because your ego will trick you. So, and he clearly thinks his videos are good. To the point where he thinks they're worth editing and breaking down into little sections and putting together, and it just makes it even worse than it already is. And that's clearly shown in the figures. Of course, he blames the algorithm. So I'll get voice notes off him. Like, yeah, the YouTube algorithm, it hates the talking head. And I'm like, well, my talking head, that's his phrase for like just sitting and speaking to a camera. Well, my channel where it's fat is doing pretty well. And then there's, I can't remember his name, but there's a lad who's got a channel called Vibes N Frequencies, Vibes and Frequencies, highly recommend. Nathan he's called, he's great. He's got 100,000 subs. So, you know, clearly. And I said, you need to replace the word algorithm with audience. The algorithm, like, yeah, okay, you've got people manipulating it and all that. But essentially, the algorithm represents what the audience wants. That's the whole point of it. Yeah. And try not to get distracted. So he's full of all these stories, which is stopping him from taking accountability of his content shit. Even to the point where, you know, he'll go and sit and do it next to an air conditioning unit, as in the outward fan. I don't even mean like the in bit. I mean like the bit on the balcony. If you live in scarcity and you live in $8 hotels like he does, rather than beautiful plush apartments like this, because one loves themselves and can actually create and manifest and lives in abundance. So you end up with these horrible, disgusting hotels where you have to listen to everyone else. He's in Phuket as well, which says a lot. With a tiny balcony, of which half of which is taken up with the, I haven't even seen, I've got 2 air conditioning units in here. I can't even see the external bit. I don't know where it is. It'll be high up, you know. They've not put it on your fucking balcony. But if you pay $8 for a hotel, guess what? It's on your balcony. And he'll do. And in his previous video, which I managed to watch a couple of minutes of, he moaned about that. Not moaned, but he spoke into that. You know, but you can't sit on the balcony because it's so hot. Because you know, you sit on the balcony and you've got the extraction, is that the right word? The out of the air conditioning unit, which is very hot, and you're already in Thailand. So, you know, you've got hot air blowing on you in a hot country. So it's obviously just repulsive. In that video where he talks about that, I try and help him and I say, bro, you really need to get a mic because he lives in scarcity. He's using a 10-year-old phone. I mean, I'm guessing that it's 10 years old. It might, you know, he's using a crap phone. And he, because he's got this massive self-saboteur, or he's trying to prove a point to me, I'm not sure which one it is, but both the same thing, really, self-saboteur. Even, it doesn't really matter what the story is, that's where it's coming from. So after I've sent in voice notes before saying you're just giving yourself no chance. Like you've got crap technology, which I understand because you're in scarcity. I don't word it like that, or I've started wording it like that with him now because I'm done with him. But you know, I wasn't reflecting to him that it was in scarcity at first. I was just giving him practical advice, trying to help him. And I was like, "You're in scarcity." And no, sorry, I wasn't like that. Fuck! Come on, Tom. I need to go make a coffee, but I don't know if we're carrying on. No, it doesn't look like we're carrying on. It's been a disappointing 24 hours, YouTube-wise. I mean, it's not been in terms of content creation, but like my last 4 videos have all done really bad. So it seems that sharing 2 videos a day on English Refugee isn't going to work, but I do want to get it up to date, so I'm just going to do it anyway. This live stream's been terrible financially. So yeah, I'm a bit demotivated. Anyway, but I also created about 8 hours of content. That's an exaggeration, but yeah. Did I finish the story? Oh God, don't go off on another tangent. Try and finish this. I've never been this bad for tangents. I mean, I'm always bad, but this is really bad. What's going on? So I try and help him in that video with practical advice, saying you need to get a mic or a better phone, or at the very least, please, for your own sake, I don't care. This isn't for me. I don't even want to watch your videos. They're fucking crap. But give yourself a chance, bro. Just try and see the saboteur. So this is where I've gone with it now, because it's like he can't see it. So I need to go deeper with him and try and see so he can maybe see where it's coming from. But obviously he's full of spiritual ego and he won't learn from me because I used to be his pupil in his eyes and my eyes at the time, because I was unconscious and pedestaling him. Not conscious enough and disempowered. So I would see an old man with grey hair who had a bit of spiritual lingo and be like, oh, he's a teacher. And no, that's not what's happening with Lee. Like, just watch his channel and you'll either get triggered and your opinion is irrelevant, or you'll be like, yeah, this isn't what's happening with Lee. So he shows up in the next video next to a fucking air conditioning unit, which he'd been complaining about and saying he can't even sit next to, and suddenly he's doing a video next to it. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he feels a need to sabotage his content or prove something to me by sabotaging his content. I don't know what in his head what's going on. And now he's telling himself he needs to set up a second channel to do different content, which won't even be different. It's all just avoidance of the truth that he needs to respect his audience, which will obviously come from respecting himself first. Because it is disrespectful to expect people to watch a video while you're sat next to an air conditioning unit. Like, that's totally disrespectful. And it's just stupid. I've told him so many times, 90% of your viewers, particularly at his level, but really, it's I think at my level, it's level, and I'm not saying that's a big level, but it is a level. 50% of your viewers are new. They're watching your video for the first time, and they are desperate to click off. When you first watch a YouTuber, especially if you're unconscious, you're desperate to dismiss them and go back to what's safe, Charlie Beach or whatever it is you watch. And already, so it's very hard to retain them, especially when you're a crap YouTuber like Jeroen. But if they click on and it sounds bad and you're making them work for it, no one's working for shit nowadays. Everyone just is entitled and expects like dopamine hits straight away. So you've got no chance, man, no chance. But Alex loves it. All of that was because Alex loves it. All right, yeah, and then I was going to try and answer your question as well. So, right, I think I could do this fast without any tangents. Not Today, Satan started when I went to Thailand, which I feel was coming up to, no. Yeah, I did a year in Thailand, just over. I did 6 months in parents' bedroom, so that's 18 months. And I've been out here a year, so that's 2.5 years ago. English Refugee started exactly a year ago. I think we're on a year and 1 week. And Tom Greatorex started, I think, 2 months before English Refugee. So 14 months old. Is that all of it? You're getting close to 2 years. So I'm past 2 years of Not Today Satan. But then, also, Not Today Satan has been taken down at least twice for 3 months, both times, so 6 months. So, and maybe more. So it is, in terms of content creation, it is still less than 2 years old. But in terms of the date it was created, it's 2.5 years. Sleep Sense. The bacteria, oh yeah, we're gonna stop. No one's putting any money in. I'm gonna make a coffee. I am gonna do a little bit longer, but I'm pissed off. So please send me some money. It won't take me long to make a coffee. I'm not going out of the room like I used to. When I lived in the £83 a month cabin. It'd be really nice to come back to the screen and see a donation. It really would help. And I mean that in terms of my motivation. It would make a better live stream. And I've just broken my camera, you fucking tight-fisted C-bombs. As if your favorite YouTuber has broken his implement that he uses to give you dopamine hits and no one's fucking connecting the dots that they, to keep receiving their dopamine hits, he needs a new camera. And some of you are here for the wisdom, I know, but most of you are here for the dopamine hits. And even if you're here for the wisdom, you definitely should be putting some fucking money in, you daft, non-wise wisdomer. Oh, God. I was walking so well and now my foot's twisted again because I can't put pressure on the fucking Veruca and no one's putting any money in. You're all cunts. In the last live, I forgot to switch ads on, so I didn't even get the ad revenue. I mean, I did once it went live. Once it went public and it was no longer live. I spotted it. I'm pretty sure I remembered to do it today. In fact, I'm not even bothered about you guys. I'm just going to check that. No, I don't need to check that. I know I did it. So I am getting the ad revenue. I put it on medium. Next time I'm going to put it on frequent because you guys just don't deserve it if you're not going to donate. So I guess it's kind of worth carrying on for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to claim to know, but certainly over a root canal. So yeah, so a root canal is where, I can't even remember. So they drilled, it's just terrible, isn't it? They drill down into the gum and then they put something fake in, do they? So that you can still have a tooth, is that right? So basically it's just fucking ego and superficiality. It's like the first ever plastic surgery. Yeah, of course, just take it out. Like, why would you fucking do that? Why would you put something fake in your mouth? I mean, I kind of get it if it's here. I would really struggle to walk around with no front teeth. I really do, you know, because that's horrendous. You're never getting a lick again. If you've got no front teeth, you're never getting a lick again unless you pay for it. Okay, great. Can you share more? 100%, Sam, 100%. I know someone who got necrosis. What's necrosis? Yeah, I'm not even going to try because I just don't know. From a root canal, always just have it taken out. Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, Jim, it's like, honestly, it's like telling people to take the jib job. It really is. It really is that level. But he won't. He'll keep going. He'll keep going. And this isn't even, you know, I understand why the ego that thinks it's enlightened can't accept anything around spiritual reflections. That's not even the right word, but, you know, reflections of the self. This is a 3D thing. Like, it's so easy for him to just go, oh, yeah, I was wrong about that. No problem, we all move on. He won't even be able to do it. And then he thinks he can WhatsApp me. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, fucking hell. I ain't even got my regulars. I ain't got Heart of Heart. I haven't got Tribe Called Kerry. Debbie has clearly already donated enough and shouldn't be the one carrying this stream. Debbie, I feel like I haven't seen you for ages. It must be nearly Monday. I don't do days anymore. I feel like it's probably the weekend. Is it the weekend yet? I feel like it's time that we spoke. I don't know what you're talking about, but do it. Get the Nasha gone, lad. Now, right, so this is something I'd like to ask you guys about, because I don't know anything about this. Right, so the wisdom teeth come late, don't they? And they're supposed to be agony. Well, I don't feel like I've ever experienced that. Now, after my last, no. Oh, no, there's no tooth there. Which one is the wisdom tooth? Is it the back tooth? Let's get it on screen. Let's find out. Mouth diagram showing wisdom tooth. Tooth position in mouth. And then we go back to StreamYard. We go present, share screen. This one, share. Back to StreamYard. I don't know why it does that. When you click share, it takes you to a screen, but then you have to go back to StreamYard to do this. It's like, well, why not? Why don't I do that before I go back to the screen so I can see it? Oh, now, so basically, obviously, why is it called a wisdom tooth? Right, okay, so yes, it's my wisdom tooth that's the problem. So the problem for me is, I hope you can see the cursor, is here if you can see the cursor. If you can't see the cursor, I think it's in between the wisdom tooth and then the tooth to the left of it on this diagram, the next one in. I think that's where the infection occurs. And right, I haven't got, hang on. Upper wisdom tooth. Okay, yeah. I don't feel like I've got that one. Like, my only real experience with wisdom teething, is everything okay? Can everyone see me? I always get a bit paranoid when I, we'll get into this in a minute, because I think this is where I'm going with it, and I don't think it's a good idea. But I don't know. Well, and of course it's not a good idea. You should never have anything pulled out. So, why is it called a wisdom tooth? There's going to be something in that. Right, so I remember them coming through for my older sister and her just obviously complaining about it and it being absolute agony for her. I don't feel I've ever experienced that. So I don't know if they came through ages ago. I don't know if I'm questioning whether my upper wisdom tooth is even there. It doesn't feel like I've got one that's out of line with these. I feel like I've just got these when I use my tongue, but I don't really know. Right, it's called a wisdom tooth for a reason. Like, they tell you everything in language. And now, like, at the World Cup and all that, it's getting insane, and in movies and all this stuff. It's called a wisdom. Right, you should never have teeth pulled out. Of course you shouldn't. Now, obviously, like, if they're causing you agony, it's difficult. But if you get your wisdom tooth pulled out, that's going to be detrimental to your wisdom. And I can't explain why, but why is it called a wisdom tooth? There's going to be something in that. Debbie, I have my 2 back wisdom teeth being pulled out just on waiting list. Why? Are you in pain? No, it's not a good idea, Tom, but mine don't fit in my, yeah, I mean, it's a really difficult one. Mine don't fit in my mouth. They are half, oh God, that sounds tremendous. They are half in and half out, but they're at the back. And now I get constant infections. I have no choice. I kept, okay, yeah, now I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And it seems that I'm experiencing the same thing. But I think there's some teaching here, there's some leaning in here. And have you tried baking soda and water? Because I think you'll find you no longer get constant infections. Try it, please, next time. And cloves. And you might find that you don't need to do this self-sabotage. Whilst I understand why one would do a self-sabotage. But don't do it, man. There's another way, there's a bigger teaching here. I think the teaching that I'm experiencing around it is leaning into real medicine. Honestly, Debbie, I think if you just swill your mouth with baking soda every night, start brushing your teeth with coconut oil and baking soda, first of all, and swill your mouth as many times a day as you can remember, but certainly every time you brush your teeth, so twice a day, I hope. I'm sure you do brush your teeth twice a day. With baking soda, and I think it's all going to go away, and you don't need to do this horrendous thing. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm sure we haven't spoken for quite a long time. So I think we've got, what I'm saying is I think we've got a session in the next 2 days. So I think that will be it for you. I don't think we'll need to discuss it. I think you'll be like, yeah, absolutely, I'll try that and it will work and you won't have to do this horrible, horrendous sabotage on your wisdom. I can't believe no one's donating. This is really shit, man. 2 hours and 2 donations and a new member who's already a member. Hopefully has just joined the other channel as well, which would be very generous. Or it's just a member that cancelled and then came back so they could get the name on the screen. So that would be very odd. Right, I'm not going to try so hard, so I'm going to bazooka my veruca while we're doing this. Because I'm really angry with you guys. Not angry, I'm just demotivated. And, you know, the fact that I've just broke my camera to do this live and no one's even donating is really shit. I can't believe I've just broke my camera, man. You know what? It's been going there. Maybe, that's why it's happened. One, so I can learn that not reacting is always the best thing. And reacting is obviously pointless. Just in getting upset and angry about it. But also, I need an Osmo 4 or 5 or whatever on now. Because, right, so for the last month, it's been on the blink. So obviously the universe has been trying to tell me to upgrade and honor myself, you know, because at the end of the day, as much as, you know, I don't really need material things, I use this camera all the time. Like, if there's anything worth me spending money on other than my health and my healing, it's clearly my YouTube technology. And I would look, like, you know, I don't get off on stuff like this. Like, I hate technology. It actually stresses me out, getting new technology. However, like a new phone or a new camera, that is quite exciting. While it's also very stressful because it means I have to learn how to use it. But worth it in the long run, obviously. Now, am I being foolish for using the same bottle of apple cider vinegar on my face and my veruca? Yeah, of course. Now, I do the face first, but I've been doing this for a few days. So, but my assumption is whatever, let's just call it bacteria that veruca uses to spread stuff, is going to die in that bottle anyway. But I am literally, I'm putting it on my face and then I'm putting it on my veruca, and then an hour later I'm putting it on my face. So I'm potentially just putting the veruca juice on my face. How funny. But if apple cider vinegar works, which I think it will, I really trust this woman who told me about it, then of course the veruca virus cannot live in the apple cider vinegar. Surely. Surely that's what we're doing here. Is that not what we're doing here, people? I don't fucking know. And I'm the one doing it. Oh, I can't believe I'm hobbling about. I just can't fucking believe it. It's all for your betterment. Talking about my audio is removed. Can you hear me? It's just come up and said my audience. Why did it do that? All right, so somebody here used to watch Rick Heskey. That's obviously meant to say best. So somebody here used to watch Rick Heskey. So obviously very 3D, very external. That's what Rick Heskey's content was. So it appears that he was a content creator and he's not bullshitting. He claims to have gone to jail for 4 years. Do you know anything about Rick Heskey? What can you tell us about Rick Heskey? I mean, he seems to be just mental to me. So it seems that Rick Heskey is very good at breaking down the third dimension and thinks that is enlightenment. So I don't want to take anything away from, so Cal at Call for an Uprising is a great example. Why am I small? What the fuck? We've got all this space and I'm like this tiny little area. Cal is a great example. Gareth Hyde is another good example, although he's obviously leaning into, I just don't think he talks about it because he knows that his audience are, retarded. So, and he's not, he's obviously more about the numbers than the truth. Although on a third level, he gives the truth. A third dimensional level, like Rick Heskey. But Rick Heskey thinks that's enlightenment, and it means his third eye's open. Yet he shits all over spirituality. So bad. So you're obviously of the external dance, which is fine. It's all a stage. But it sounds like, very much like Cal from Uprising, well, I won't compare him to him because Cal is, in my opinion, the master of the third dimension. But still lives of the duality and believes in Jesus and all that nonsense. External saviors, because he hasn't gone internal. But maybe that's what these people are here for. Maybe they're not meant to advance because they're meant to teach, they're meant to smash the third dimension apart for people. Like maybe it is aligned. So it sounds like this Rick, thank you. This is going to motivate me. It sounds like Rick Heskey is similar. Oh, Debbie, why does it have to be Debbie? She's so good. Thank you, Debbie. I love you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But it saddens me that it has to be you every time. Oh, well, that's not fair. That's not fair on these wonderful people. Oh, right. So the new member donated $9.99 as well. So I think I am almost certain that this person has joined both channels in support. You'd actually, honestly, you'd be better joining, for you, you'd be better joining, and for me actually, you'd be better joining my Patreon. Unless, you like to have your name in a different color and all that, and that's great. But in terms of what you would receive, although, to be honest, why do people need early releases? Like, I give them a lot. Oh, right, so with English Refugee currently, because it's out of date, I think it is worth it, actually. If you're gonna be a YouTube member, I would suggest being a Patreon member instead, or as well, but instead. And then you could be up to date, and then Tom Greatorek's channel would make much more sense for you as well, because it would all be aligned. But once English Refugee is up to date, and you're getting, it will never ever be up to date because I have to edit. So you'll always be. I imagine it will always be 48 hours. But what I want to do is edit the video the next day, get it uploaded to YouTube, give it to my Patrons, then give it to my YouTube members. So the Patrons get it for a day, then the YouTube members get it for a day. Sadly, when I give it to my YouTube members, it means my Patrons lose it because just of the way YouTube works. It makes it private unless you're a YouTube member, basically. So they both get it for a day and then the public get it. That's my long-term plan, but that's irrelevant because right now, we're 45 episodes behind again because I've just been recording shitloads. Hence why I'm now doing 2 a day, because I'm like, we're never going to catch up unless I release 2 a day every day. Also, suddenly, since I come to Siem, my content's, if I was to just share a day, it's an hour and a half. And I don't mind doing that. I just edited yesterday's episode, which is an hour and 7 minutes. And, okay, fine, it's an hour and 7 minutes. But obviously, there's also like, I think I edited one from the day before, which I split into 3. I think it was 2 hours long. And there were 3 clear, there was me going out into Siem Reap for the first time, and there was me arguing with a landlord. So clearly they're 2 different subjects. So I don't know why I'm telling you that. All right, yeah. So I just have to post 2 videos a day if we're ever going to get anywhere near up to date. And I really do want to be up to date. It will improve things a lot. It will make it a lot better because then we can interact in the comments. You can tell me where to go to shops, and you can impact the content. Thank you, Debbie. You're a star. You're an absolute star. Okay, let's have a big coffee slurp and try and get remotivated. Debbie has certainly helped with the motivation. It must be a crap stream because I'm losing numbers. 47. Is it because I'm berating you for not helping me buy a new camera? I reckon there's going to be, I can't really speak into it, so I haven't seen enough of it yet, but it's a funny one because we're in the second biggest city in Cambodia. Yeah, it's kind of, it feels like a village. It feels more village-like than Nam Ban did, which you haven't seen yet because the content's behind, which is genuinely a village, like hundreds of people live in it, whereas this is 250,000. And I mean literally hundreds, like 500 people live in Nam Ban. If that, I don't know, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's not going to be more than 500. Yeah, it's more chaotic than a city that has 250,000 people. So that's why they're the ends of Asia. But I still love them and, really do love them for what they are. But I don't want to live around them again. Right, so infrastructure-wise, and I see this as very positive. There's none of these, all that footage I just spacking out in Go, the supermarket in Dalat. Yeah, there's none of that. And there is big markets, as in shops, but nothing like that. None of the like hook fucking machine, soft toy spaz card things that adults play in Vietnam, not children, adults. There's no music being blasted at you. I haven't even noticed the lighting when we've gone into a shop, so it's clearly not this awful blue light, because otherwise I would definitely notice it. I haven't seen any of these great big bulbs yet. I'm sure there will be some, because I've seen them everywhere I've been in Southeast Asia, but maybe not. Maybe they're not going to be in Siem. So we don't have like a shopping mall. Why am I speaking American? Shopping mall. Or anything like that. So I think what I'm trying to say here, is there going to be a shop that can fix my DJI camera? I think there will be, but it's going to be touch and go. There definitely would be in Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi in Vietnam. And I think the most likely would be in Dalat. I mean, there's a shop in Dalat that claims to be an official Samsung shop. And judging by the service and all that, and they've got the Samsung logo, but that don't really mean much out here. Judging by the service and everything that I received, I asked the guy, is it, he said it's an official shop, and I think it is. But AI said it wasn't, but then AI is just unbelievable. Like, so wrong about everything, man. Debbie, let us know if you're going to try. Well, of course you're going to try, but just speak into how you feel about all this new information you're receiving around mouth infections and whether you are open to not taking them out if you can solve the mouth infections within 2 hours with natural remedies. I mean, I would hope. I already know the answer. Vinegar's amazing, isn't it? Oh, God, I really like you, Abbas. Baking soda and vinegar is a fantastic syncum blocker. Wow, far cheaper than a chemical rubbish. Wow. But it's also great for the body. I mean, I'm dashing apple cider vinegar on my face right now. It's also good for washing your clothes. That's a great combination for washing your clothes. Way better than the poison that everyone uses. And here we go. The wise witch has confirmed what you're saying, Albus. So many things can be fixed using non-toxic chemicals, but we get brainwashed to use all these awful toxic chemicals for things. Oh my God, it sounds like we have a conspiracy theorist in the chat. YouTube, I do not condone this chat. Very good, Albus. This is my email. My phone is about to die, so I don't answer you, no one. Oh, right, yeah, got you. It's in the bottom of all my. Oh, you'll have gone ages ago. Oh no, I think I am near the bottom. It's in the bottom of all my videos. If I can be asked to, you know, sometimes I'm just like, can I get a video out? I'm like, no, I don't have the energy. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to write a description. And then I'm like, oh, okay, but. I'm very close to fully speaking into this and telling the whole story, but there's still a reason why I can't. And it's really interesting that you asked that, because something's happened today that has forced my hand into dealing with this situation. And once the situation is dealt with, either way, no matter what the outcome ends up being, I will share it all. But it would be unwise. My ego really wants to tell you right now, because it's fascinating and would be the best content I've ever created, and will be when I do it. Dudes? Is that like dudettes? But the wiser, fathering, higher self part of me is like, they're all swine anyway. Why are you giving pills to these swine? Definitely don't. You know, if you listen to Stoic Journal and anything on Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius and all that, they're like, don't tell anyone anything. Everyone's a demon. Rachel has improved a lot, but still will not write, and this is for her own good. It will be a massive moment for her when she is able to write into the chat, I am not enlightened. If it was all in capitals, it would be even bigger for her. She can't do it. And she's so clear, like, you know, like, it's not even a thing. Like, you're so clearly not enlightened. Why would it matter? It'd be like me saying, I don't have blue hair. But you're so of the ego, you can't acknowledge that you were once so spectarded that you were claiming you were enlightened. From such, and I know I do it and I'm not enlightened, but I kind of do it in jest and I am well on the journey. But you're like coming from like, I've just worked out that to say I don't want bioweapons in my country is nationalist, not racist. And you were making claims of enlightenment. So you, for your own journey, you need to own that. You need to take accountability for it. I'm not going to humiliate you. I'm going to honor you when you do it, because you will do it. You will crack. Because I can see a deepening happening, but it's still like very superficial. I mean, it's so easy. Honestly, it's like it has the same, well, for you, it will have huge gravitas in terms of your journey. But from my perspective, in terms of whether I'll shame you, no, I will honor you when you do this. It's like me writing, I don't have blue hair into the chat. You know, because it's that obvious. You can see I don't have blue hair. I can see you're not enlightened. Everyone in the chat can see you're not enlightened. It's very, you know, it's very, very apparent. And it's not even like, there's not even like, you know, like Jim can use his intellect to twist it and stuff and convince a few real plebs. You don't even have intellect. Like, you've got nothing. You've got something because you're watching this stuff and you're, you know, you're not a blue-haired septum piercer. But, you know, you're one step above, basically. Hi, Rachel. How are you? Even though I would like to donate, but scarcity. Here's the story. Here's the ego. Here's the reason why I can't. You've never donated. You've never contributed. You've never contributed with your comments. They've always been shit. In fact, they've been worse than shit. They've been antagonistic. They've been trying to shame me. They've been trying to do me down because you're so of the ego. So as it stands, Rachel, you are one of the worst people commenting on this channel. Even though I would like to donate, but don't know how to do it on here, and I don't trust the internet. I don't trust. And this is an issue with you, Albert. I will never use AI. I don't trust AI. It's a knife, it's a tool, and it's fear. I'm not saying your perspective is incorrect, but what I'm saying is there is another perspective. And this is how I know that you're not really enlightened, Albert. And me and Lee were talking about the comment you left and smiling. Because it's something around, I haven't seen it, Lee just described it to me, where it's like, you claim to be of the fourth dimension, which is, I think, neutral peace, and maybe touching upon the next one, which is probably joy. But your question is, how do I stop feeling fear? So if you're feeling fear, you're not in the fourth dimension. Now, of course, this is fluid. So I'm not saying you have never experienced the fourth dimension. Of course you have. Clearly, I can see that. I can feel that. But you know, we were smiling. We were smiling at your comment because it is like baby spiritual comment, and it's also the sort of comment that, you know, it's the sort of thing that I would ask very, you know, only 6 months ago. So I'm really not shaming you. But what I am reflecting to you is your mad, not mad, totally understandable, because we've been programmed into fear. Your fearful response to AI. I mean, look at what Lee's doing with AI. Look at, what does he call it? The team member or something like that. That just totally sees it for what it is, just a tool, obviously. I am. Look at what he's doing with it. Those songs he's creating, like. Yet you're so scared you'll never use it. So in fear, and it's not a criticism. And I think you are awake enough to not get triggered by these words. If you do get triggered, then you're exposing yourself even more. You can send a check if you want, email me and I'll tell you how you can do it. But I mean, it's just so fearful, it's unbelievable. Like, it's so of the fear. Like, what do you mean you fear internet banking? Like, yes, okay, I know all the stories and there's truth in those stories, but its own, you know, there's all small hat and all that. Yeah, good. But it's a system we live in. Like, work with it, don't work against it. And I don't mean conform. I mean, use it to the best of your ability and to your advantage whilst not conforming. You know, you can't not be of the system. So what you're saying, you don't use internet banking. Well, they're about to shut all the banks. What are you going to do? Go and live in a puddle? No, of course you're not, because you're nowhere near awake. You need all your home comforts. You need your television and all that nonsense. And I would like to think, Rachel, and I think there's I don't know, I think you still watch some television. I think you still choose your programming that's channeled to you on the channel, on the television. I think you do. But I'm also open to the possibility, you know, I don't have PayPal. Well, just fuck off then, you know. And that's not because I want your money. That's because you're so in fear. And you will not be able to write into the chat, I am not enlightened, when you're so scared that you can't even use PayPal. You can't even use internet banking. But you're not going to be able to write, I'm not enlightened, because you're so egoic. And I think you probably, there's a 50-50 chance that you're still telling yourself this enlightenment story, which is just so bad. Or you've had a bit of a breakthrough on that and you're no longer telling yourself that. But the problem here, if that's true, then the problem here is you can't take accountability for anything. You can't be seen to be wrong, even though everything you say is wrong. And the only way to become right, not that it exists, but, you know, I'm talking to a retard, so the only way to become right is to know you're wrong, to take account. It's not even taking accountability. No one's going to shame you. There's nothing to be accountable for. Like, we're all retarded. But Rachel's just more so. You know, it's allowing yourself to move to the next stage. Do you think you can move to the next stage while you're still lying to yourself? I'm trying to help you. So boring and frustrating. Yeah, thank you, spiritual warrior. All right, yeah, I've just realized you are a regular contributor financially. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's great. That's really great. That's great. $15, $20, $27, new member 30. YouTube will take 10. So I've earned 20 quid for 2.5 hours. And then I'll get the advert video, so it's probably like going to be 50 quid. So thank you to those that have made it feel more worthwhile to my ego, but still really resents doing this if he doesn't get paid. And I appreciate that is a traumatized, fearful part of me that makes that so, oh my God. Rachel, I've never done a bank transfer. It's about time. Yeah, I think so. I think so, seeing as we live in, you know, a digital world, and I know there's negatives to that, but I'm not going to speak into more because everyone in this chat knows. You can't function in this world. What do you mean? You're still going into a bank? I mean, it's commendable in some ways, but it is from fear. Yeah, it's so interesting how the ego will dress this up, because I know what the ego is saying. Like, the ego is saying it's all satanic, and there's a truth in that. and I don't want to support it. But you know, you not using internet banking is not going to stop it coming in. Like it's in. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's quite established, and they're just going to cut you off. You know, they're not. There's too many people are using it now, which is like everyone except you, and a few fucking 90-year-old women. Fuck me. What am I dealing with? What am I dealing with? Come on. Okay, this is your role. So I've had it reflected to me today in, I don't know if I finished off a story with Michael, the Yorkshireman, but basically I saw, and so now I'm in Siem Reap, it's an energetic portal, all the best people here. I mean, of course, there's going to be some of the best people somewhere else as well. But, you know, there's a lot of incredible people in Siem Reap. Like, it brings them in. Oh, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. And I was starting to think that I was quite high on this scale of enlightenment, consciousness, whatever you want. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. This guy totally humiliates me. Not only through being amazing. He doesn't say anything negative to me. But so basically I go down there thinking, oh, there's a nice pleb that I can play with as God. I will use him and create content. I don't have any interest in this man, but let's go and create some content. Woo! An hour and 7 minutes later, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm such a pleb. But it's great, and it's great to be able to acknowledge this. So this is what I'm doing now, Rachel, is what I'm asking you to do, but just from a different level. This is how you become enlightened, by seeing your shadow, your plebbiness. Write in the chat now, I am not enlightened, for your own good. This would also be for your own good. This is also, you know, there's a fear in you, there's a repression in you that's very strong. So lean into it, go and start. Well, I was going to say go into a bank and set it up. No, we're way past that. You just downloaded the app and then you link it to your bank account, and it's all very safe. It's also not safe. Obviously, the paradox is there, but it's safe in terms of, like, either this is a stance against the machine, which is retarded because it's already won when it comes to internet banking, or you're either it's a stance against the machine, or, God, it was so clear to me a second ago, or you're just completely retarded and can't do it. I think that's what it was. Or tell yourself you can't do it. Of course you can do it. I just can't believe I'm even speaking into this. Oh, right, yeah. But after my humbling, just by being in this man's presence. So Lee, that doesn't humble me, because, you know, I'd already accepted, like, oh, right, he's the special one. Like, okay, that's pedestaling, that's stupid language. He is a very special man who is no longer really a man. And if you know, you'll know what I mean by that. And if you don't know, you don't need to know yet. But when it was this guy from Yorkshire called Michael, shit, I've lost it. It was a very humbling moment for me, which is great. We want to be humbled. Humbling is not negative, even though your conditioning tells it is. Yeah. Okay, Alex, I'm with you here. We'll move on to this in a minute once we've finished trying to help Rachel, but it's pointless. Yeah, so I think it's actually, you'll probably have stories around, like, I'm standing up against it, but actually I think you're just scared and retarded, and actually think you can't do it. Honestly, it's so easy. Whatever bank you've got, just download their app and it will link. And, I was talking about safety. So, like, yes, of course the paradox is there, but I think what it is you're scared. Oh, that was it. Yeah, no, this is it. You're scared of losing money if you do internet banking. Like, even if, and it's very possible this will happen to you because you are stupid, you'll get scammed by an African. Not all Africans use YouTube. Some Africans are very good people. There's a high chance that will happen. It happened to my mum. The bank just gives you the money back straight away. It doesn't exist. Money doesn't exist, don't forget. So it's just digits on the screen. They don't care. Yeah, this is how I feel, mate. His early ones. I'm not sure good is the right word, but I really liked them. They've gone really downhill, haven't they? It's partly because at first he just filmed an Akamamas. So yes, you had the pop music in the background, but it was fine. I mean, it wasn't ideal. Like, obviously we don't want pop music in our videos. But it was, you know, it wasn't like that air conditioning unit was. So I'm the same, Alex. I want to still watch. I want to support him. When his videos pop up, I have memories of times where I've enjoyed being in his presence. I mean in video form. Because obviously I enjoyed his physical presence too. But, you know, I remember, and I think that feeling keeps me clicking, but I'm always, after 2 minutes, very disappointed in clicking off. And 2 minutes is, you know, it's actually usually 30 seconds because of the noise. But, you know, today it wasn't noise, it was just crap content showing us Phuket in a very boring way. Well, you know, at least he's got you, Alex. At least he's got you. Ecclesfield, do you think I'm some sort of scumbag? Oh, look at this peasant, this commoner thinking that I would ever go to Ecclesfield other than to sell or buy herbs. I spit on you, commoner. Clearly she means Ecclesall of the middle class. Ecclesall Woods, it was. Obviously that was a joke. I love working class people. They are the best because they haven't been to university and been indoctrinated. We're all skint. Do you know how much a bag of chips is in 2 steps now? Yes, Sheffield. 2 steps was known as the best fish and chip shop in Sheffield. Oh my God, a bag of chips in 2 steps now, let me guess. Is it 6? Oh my God, oh, it can't be 6. 5? It's between 5 and 6, which is outrageous and a very good point you make. You are pretty disgusting. I've heard no wisdom. See ya. Yes was last Monday. I think we said Wednesday. I thought we made Mondays that day. Okay, fine. Let's do Wednesday. All good. I can feel that, you know, I can feel that it's almost time. Right, Debbie, I want to know if you've changed your mind on this. Why am I seeing that? Like, how have I gone back up? Oh, here we go. What a surprise. Rachel looked like, Debbie, take notes. This is someone who's had their wisdom tooth out, and look how they show up in life. I have had mine out as they were agony and my mouth was too small. I had to have the lower ones out. Oh, well, it really shows. Debbie. This retarded one. Do you want to be like that? Now, I don't think you'd regress to these levels if you got them taken out, but I think it would stop some of your expansion, which is phenomenal. Don't be a Rachel. Now, I understand why you did it, Rachel, but with the knowledge that has been imparted on this live through me and others in the comments, presumably you would try that first before you did this retarded act. But then you also did this one, didn't you, Rachel? And you still can't write in the comments, I'm not enlightened, which is literally the same as me writing, I've not got blue hair. It's no big deal, but for you it is. Yeah, I know. Are you trying to shame me? No, I don't think you are. You're a good one. It is what it is. I've got herpes. Oh, okay. That was funny, wasn't it? That was so stupid. There's my email. Oh, right, it comes up on both channels. I like that. Oh my God, it comes up on Kick as well. Oh, as if Kick is even a thing for me. Yeah, totally. I'm going to tell the cleaners here to do. I'm not having fucking chemical sprayers. When it's just so easy to not do it. White vinegar, better than. Oh, you said white vinegar, right? Yeah, great. Thanks, Debbie. That's great advice for the plebs. And I already knew it, but yeah, it's great advice for the plebs. Oh, yes, the stream is about to improve dramatically, and I can see someone else has donated. Yup, don't let an energy vampire know what your next move is. They'll find some way to punish you. Yeah, it's really true. It's really true. Oh, fuck. Has it been 3 days? Oh, fucking hell. Let's do a little... Let's show people why we're dancing. She's here, she's here, she's here with her wisdom and her big open giving heart. And it makes all the difference to this egoic YouTuber who wants to grift off you all. So it genuinely makes so much difference to my energy. When I don't mean in general, but like, well, maybe. I don't think so. I mean, like when I'm here doing this, of course I want to receive back. Like, of course I want it to be symbiotic. Of course I honor myself. But I also acknowledge there's some shadow in it, definitely, like in how much I'm pushing it and how much I let it affect me. Vic Heskey as well. Awesome. Heart of Hearts, great to have you back. Has it been 3 days? So I feel like I traveled for one night, so I didn't live stream. I've done one live stream without you. So you were there that night, then you 24 hours. I suppose it is 3 days. I don't think it's 3 nights though. Is that right? Or maybe it is. It's great to have you back, Heart of Hearts, not just because you're very giving. That is probably the main reason. It's as much of a reason as how beautiful you are. And I would like soon how beautiful you are to be even more of a reason for me. But if I'm honest right now, it's 50-50. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, it just makes it so different. Having Heart of Hearts here just makes such a difference. This guy's so much fun. Tell me I'm not worthy, big boy. Oh, you've got something, Vic. I'll give you that. You've got something. Thanks for £2 towards the camera. Hopefully fixed. Oh no, that was it. We decided it's time to buy it. That's why it's happened. It's not about scarcity. It's not about trying to fix something that is old. And you know, if I really love myself and really want to serve myself and really want to serve others, then of course I'll get the latest technology. Yeah, fuck it. It's happened for a reason. That we can stop worrying about that. Brilliant. Yeah, so again, this is, you know, so Rachel, I use cash mostly. It's over. It's finished in that country. Like, you know, you could argue that where I'm living, you shouldn't be using your card because they're still making that transition, that enslavement. I mean, I would say there's a very strong argument for it where I'm living, Southeast Asia. Particularly, maybe not Thailand so much, but the rest of it. You know, it's not going to be Singapore. I imagine they're all enslaved. Or well done, Rachel. Well done. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. Well done. That's such a big moment in your journey. Well done. We'll get to it in a minute. Oh, wow. Like, so Heart of Hearts is just like, I was feeling like this, and now I'm feeling much more like this. And so Heart of Hearts started that process, and so did Debbie, and Spiritual Warrior, and not so much Rick. But we kind of, I guess, anyone who's donated, but definitely Spiritual Warrior, RPM Nitro. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Let's just make sure I'm not missing anyone out. RPM Nitro, Debbie. And Debbie in particular came in at a time when I was really struggling, and so did the £10 from Spiritual Warrior. And then Heart of Hearts has just opened up my heart. And then there's your comment, Rachel. Thank you. Well done. No, not thank you. It's not for me. It's nothing to do with me. I'm grateful because I can feel that it's filled me with love. So I am grateful. But I'm just so delighted for you, man. So delighted for you. And I think, obviously, you need to work out how to use internet banking first or PayPal. But I think you might be ready to do a session with me. Well done. Well done. Obviously, you probably already seen it. We're talking about this. Well done, Rachel. And I really honor you. That's a really big step. Well done. Oh, I mean, my God, from where you were, let's say 4 weeks ago, when you're claiming enlightenment and trying to shame me because you watch The Awake and Brave and thinking that's going to trigger me somehow. Wow, this is huge, Rachel. You've had a huge transformation. Well done. So only using cash, I think in the UK, it comes from fear and disempowerment because you're not changing anything. You're not, it's not going to make no difference. They're just going to wipe you off the face of the earth. They're not, there's not enough people I agree with the principle 100%. If everyone did it tomorrow, it would be so powerful. Or even if 50% of people, even 25% of people did it, then it would stop them just being able to write you all off. But you're one of 10 people. I mean, it's probably more, but it might as well be 10 people. So they're just going to go, okay, well, we're doing internet banking now. What are you going to do? Of course, you're going to have to use internet banking. So it comes from disempowerment and fear, which your ego wraps up as morality and principle. But that doesn't mean there isn't truth in that morality and principle. See how complex it can seem to the mind, even though really it's very simple. But from where you're at, it's which I'm not criticizing. Like we all come from there. It seems very complicated. The paradox seems very complicated, and the ego will use that to dismiss the other side of the paradox, and then you'll stay in complete duality and ego. Yeah, I think you're ready to work with me because the reason I say that is because Rachel has expressed an interest in working with me, and I've kind of been like this. Well, I've very much been like this. So Debbie's got a question for Rachel. Does Rachel only use cash spend for? Oh, right. She answered that in literally the question above. They probably wrote it at the same time. 9:31, 9:31. Look at that. Look at that. What's playing out there? Okay, I'm going to keep this on the screen for a while. We're going to really honor this. This is a big moment in Rachel's journey. Can we all pour love into Rachel and honor Rachel in the comments, please? Yes. She's so good at her job. She's so good at helping me. Oh, I'm just going to put this back on the screen. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful. I'm so happy for you, Rachel. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, man, thanks for the 2. I think you're referring to this. This comes in, this beautiful, high vibrational energy comes in. And then Vic has to, yeah. I mean, I think it's funny. I have no problem with it. Shug, barter is the true form of trade. Reputation is the true currency. Oh, wow. Shug, how do we connect? You don't do WhatsApp. I need you in my life. And I feel like you're open to it. I'd also like to create content with you, although I appreciate that might not be practical. But yeah, I'd really like to have you on the end of a voice note. And don't worry, I don't bombard you. I don't vampire energy you. It's just nice to have an elder around, another elder around. I just want as many elders as possible to walk this life with. Heart of Hearts. Hi, Tom. Was off on right. What day is it today? It's not going to help me because I don't know what day it is today. I was off on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I hope you're doing well. I need to catch up. Oh, good luck. I mean, there's no, unless you're watching every day, I don't think you can watch all my content. I mean, you've got live streams that are basically 4 hours a time. I mean, obviously it varies, but I think someone else might. Thank you, guys. So, 4 hours a day, let's say. Well, let's say 3 hours a day, but it's, on average, probably more. You've now got 2 English refugee videos a day, so that's probably going to be conservatively an hour a day. I mean, some days it's going to be less, but most days it's going to be more. So that's 4 hours. And then you've got 2 Tom Greatrex videos a day, which can vary from 10 minutes to 40 minutes, but, I basically have a longer end of the scale most times now. So you basically got 5 hours a day. Am I really that good? I mean, I guess I am pretty good. If my favorite YouTubers were doing 5 hours of content a day, then I would watch it all. I don't know if I could watch 5 hours of Lee, but I don't think. But that's because Lee's here and I'm here. Whereas I don't think that's going on for us. Like I think we're probably like this, or you may even be. If you're loving my content so much, I wouldn't have thought you'd be too far advanced of me. But, you know, there's definitely not the same gap there is between Lee and I, between you and me. I feel like we're, you know, very much resonating in similar places. But it's hard to say because I don't truly know you. Do I even know your name yet? Have you told me your name? I don't think you have. Right. I remember you're a 41-year-old female. I don't think you shared your name, which is fine. You don't need to, if you don't want to. Of course, it would be nice to know your name. But it's not, you know, I understand why why you wouldn't want to do that on YouTube. Although, to be honest, I think you're past that sort of fear. I don't watch any films. Like, I see people getting excited about this. So this is part of a humbling I've had, actually. So I'm a bit wary about saying this now. Because there really is a paradox in everything. So I've been very much like, it's all psyops, it's all satanic, it's all predictive programming. Why would anyone watch a film? And he was like, yeah, sure. But the effect the Matrix had for me was very awakening. And I was like, oh, there's the paradox. So I've seen, I don't even know what it is because like Elon Musk shared it and it's clearly just of the state. But like, there's this, is it Citizen Journal or something like that? In fact, Debbie even sent me something on it. I just ignored it. So I think the state are making out that they've banned it or they're trying to subdue it or they don't want you to see it, which obviously is because they really want you to see it. And they want a certain type of person to see it, the sort of type of person that has woken up to how evil the state is. So they want to indoctrinate you further. So I think I basically watched Jeff Bezos speaking to it a little bit. So that's the only place I have any knowledge about it from. So I think it's basically really playing into the fear vibration of the invasion and the muzzies. So it seems like truth. And then, of course, their chief truth puppet, Elon, well, I mean, that's not true. I suppose that would be someone like David Icke, assuming that he is part of the club. And I'm not certain he is, but he is. And whereas I am certain Elon Musk is. If you have eyes to see, there's no doubt on Elon Musk. Whereas I think, there might be a level, I should ask Lee about David Icke. He can probably see. But, I think David Icke is a very convincing puppet, assuming he is a puppet. And it is hard to be certain on him until you can just feel it all like Lee can. So I'll ask Lee and I'll be able to tell you. So this Citizen Journal thing, so the state ban it because they want a certain type of person to make sure they watch it. And then Elon Musk shares it. Oh, the free speech guy. Everyone's so stupid. So no, of course I'm not watching a film. Are you mental? But then this guy that's way more enlightened than me, he watches films, so who knows? But no, I'm not a retard, in my opinion. But I think I'm still coming from my perspective, my side of the duality. So, but then again, it's irrelevant to you, Vic, because you're totally in that. But, to someone like Heart of Heart, I speak into it like that for someone like Heart of Hearts. I speak into that. So Shug will be going like this. He won't be going, oh, wow, yeah, I didn't realize that. He'll just be going, oh, yeah, he gets it. Heart of Hearts will be either doing that or going, oh, right, yeah. But there's no, if she hadn't seen it before, me just saying those words, she'll just go, it won't be like, oh, is it? It'll just be like, oh, right, yeah, of course. Moving on. I think she's probably just nodding along. I can't really think of anyone else. There might be one or two other people in the chat that's not springing to mind, but I think everyone else would probably have fallen for that style. This guy's interesting. This guy might not have fallen for it. I feel like Alex is either quite enlightened or just very aloof, and I mean that in a good way, not of the bullshit. Aloof might not be the right word. I don't quite know what it means, but if it means what I feel it means, then I feel it's okay. Alex is special for sure. I don't quite know where he is on the consciousness chart. But he just comes with love all the time. So I think he's pretty high up the scale. Right, wow, stuff's happening. It's actually starting to kick off a bit. See, I should, it's just Vic being a dick though, isn't it? No, it's not, it's more than that. So this is what I need to start trusting. Is it does happen eventually. You know, it can be slow for 2 hours and I can feel my ego getting triggered with you all. But it always comes to fruition in the end. So Vic, to ask his retard the question, donated another £2. Thank you, brother. Now, it might not be retarded, you know, it could be the next Matrix. But I just, and okay, I do think I'm in duality on this one, for sure. I know I am. But I just think we're, if there ever was a day where there was a film that was for the good, so potentially the Matrix. I mean, we're at the levels where they're about to expose, well, they have exposed themselves. Like, just look at the World Cup. I mean, it's so fucking obvious. But you know, they're literally about, you know, we're 2 years away, or maybe 4 years away from them coming out and being like, we own you. Stop even pretending that you have democracy. Like, we're not playing that game anymore. Okay, thanks for the 2, Rick. No, I will not be watching any films. Bin, I really recognize your name. I think you donated before. You're definitely quite a long-term commenter. Thank you so much, Bin Flynn 1, for the $4.99, for a fiver, for a duck and diver. What is it? What do you say for a fiver if you're using Cockney language, which I always quite enjoy? Would you like to hear a story about my day? Seeing as you've all been generous, not all, but you know, enough of you have been generous now. It's going to be great content. So it's getting. This is the other thing I'm having to deal with. I'm getting, since I've moved to Siem, I'm receiving content. I'm not creating it. I mean, you could say I've kind of created it with Michael because I asked a few questions, but you know, he did it. I'm receiving content now that can go on all 3 channels. Like, there's bits of it that are for all 3. So I meet this guy who's a real character. I've mentioned him already, the fish and chip shop man. Irish. So obviously a good one. But you know, it turns out very bad. But you know, a good one. On the scale of humanity, all Irish people are on the better side. And there's probably a few like, you know, Irish pedos or stuff, but you know, in general, Irish people are going to be on a good side. Because there's something about those lands and their tradition and their culture that makes that so. So I meet him, I'm filming him. It's very much English refugee content, and it's top English refugee content. This guy's an absolute character. He's not even, it's as if the camera's not there. He's not perturbed by it at all. He's sharing the struggles of being an expat, like there's no fluff. It's great. Then it goes into Not Today Satan content, and it's great. He's telling people what they need to do, and he's absolutely speaking into it with like a masculine, bordering on aggression energy. And then, so the first red flag was I've read all 4 Winston Churchill books. I thought, oh. But, you know, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because he was just spitting absolute facts. But then also it got to a point where I had to start saying like, yeah, I know, like, let's just go deep now. Like, yes, we've established we agree on a surface level. You're not teaching me anything. You know, I know everything you're saying. And what I mean by that is it got boring, even though he's a great character. Like, so at first, when someone's saying all the, like, you know, the bioweapon stuff, basically, and they're saying it with a passion and they're eloquent, you're like, oh, great. And you really enjoy it for 5 minutes. But then you're like, okay, we're there. You know, we both know exactly what's happening with the bioweapons. Well, turns out he doesn't, but we'll get to that in a minute. So then, now can we see if you really know? Like, and we're still talking third dimensional. We're not going into consciousness here, but you know what's underneath the bioweapons. Well, that's where it all falls apart for him. So he mentions. So that's not today's Satan content, and then it becomes Tom Greatorex content in terms of like analyzing it. So really, I mean, to be honest, it hits the first. Right, so the one with Michael is all three. Yeah, it's not really not today's Satan. Yeah, no, I don't know if it can be all three actually, but they can definitely hit two of them. So let's go back to the Irish guy. He hits English refugee, and yeah, it's always going to be that. It's always going to be like this, isn't it? So there's the three channels. Not today's Satan. Not today's Satan. Yeah, that'll be right way around for you. Not today's Satan, English refugee, Tom Greatorex. So obviously there's a scale of consciousness attached to that. So it's never going to be this and this. It's always either going to be these two or these two. So it's always going to hit English refugee and it's going to hit one or the other if this situation occurs, I think, is what I've just realized. All right, so Winston Churchill was the first red flag. And then, so I start using them every time club, and he's nodding along thinking I'm talking about desert rats. I can't quite remember how it breaks. But, you know, I think I'd just say it's for them every time club. And he's like that. And he starts freaking out because he's a Christian. So, because he's indoctrinated. And he's like, my religion tells me they're the chosen ones, so you're demonic. Yeah, because who wrote the fucking book, you daft twat. But also the book is, the more time I spend with Lee, the book is amazing. Because Jesus wasn't saying anything the Christians or the Jews think he was saying. Yeah, he was really telling you what to do, you know, the inward journey. And of course, it's been bastardized. It's been bastardized by the let's just call them Satanists, so the Christians and the Jays. And you know, I mean, the people at the top who have created those psyops to get all the plebs into. Oh, it ends up getting aggressive. I call him right. So here's the lesson for me. So this is where it becomes Tom Greatorex content, but it would only become Tom Greatorex content if I spoke into it and added to it. So I could use it as an example, like I'm starting to do it on my Tom Greatorex channel, like use these external examples and then speak into it, and that makes it Tom Greatorex content. By which I mean spiritual, philosophical content, but the channel is called Tom Greatorex. Right, so I've had a big reflection recently with the way I've dealt with the landlord. So that was anger. And right, so I left this interaction. So basically, I called him a retard. I said to Lee, let's leave. This guy's retarded. And he's like, no, 1 minute. And I'm like, but he's fucking retarded, Lee. So I'm telling Lee what to do. Like, I mean, no. I'm a slug next to Lee. But it's because I'm triggered. And so right, let me go back to alcoholic landlords, because it's the same. It's the same reflection. The universe is obviously like, okay, now you're ready for this lesson. So basically, when Lee comes up against these SPACs, he meets them with total love and total calmness. Nothing can trigger Lee. You cannot trigger Lee. It's impossible to trigger Lee. There's no anger left in him. It's gone. It's like there's no. He does not have the ability. So he lived his life as a very angry man, And he said it took him 18 months to trust that he knew it had gone. As in, no, he didn't know. It had gone, but it took him 18 months to trust that, and now it's gone. So he hears me screaming at the landlord. Like I get really aggressive with him. And in my judgment, not my inaccurate judgment that comes from my defensiveness, we call it the ego. I'm like, well, it's the only way to speak to this person. And when Lee's giving me a reflection on how I dealt with it, I use the N word, obviously, like I do in my actual life all the time. So I'm like, well, it's like dealing with them. You have to meet them with the only thing they understand, which is violence. Obviously, I'm not condoning that. It's just a thought pattern I have. This is obviously for certain platforms and governments. It's just a thought pattern that I have. Well, actually, I am starting to acknowledge it's probably incorrect, although I still feel that, anyway, I can't say it. So obviously, never condoning any violence. Diversity is our strength. Always welcome the new English who are better than you and deserve to have a two-tier justice system and all of your money. Shit, tangent. Okay, back to Chris. That's the landlord. Right, so Lee would have got the result that I got without any of the drama, without leaving the situation feeling angry and triggered. So when Lee gave me this reflection, and it's all recorded, the drama, and I'm going to release it on Tom Greater. It's really soon, actually, like in 2 days. It's already on Patreon, I think, or if not, it'll be on Patreon today, tomorrow for you. So I was so in it that I didn't even, or this teaching is so new to me, but I didn't, I have been aware that when I get angry with plebs, which I always thought was justified, but it leaves me, obviously, you know, not in a high vibration. So it's not serving me, essentially. Now with Chris, the first one, so this has happened twice in 2 days. So the universe is clearly like, okay, it's time to learn this one, and you've got the I am with you. So you've got the I am with you, Lee. That means God for plebs. You've got the I am with you who will give you the reflections, and now we're really going to just this reflection will just show up and 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 show up until you learn and stop even calling them SPACs, but you know, stop meeting SPACs with anger. Because if you can do that, you have the ability to change them, change their views. Well, change them, it does change them. Which of course, I'd much rather do that. So, first incident with landlord happens, Lee gives me reflection, I intellectually learn. I intellectually accept what Lee's saying. So, you know, Lee even role plays how he would have dealt with it, and it was so simple. And beautiful and lovely, and would have got the result way faster, and it would have left no dis-resonance. But it's still only intellectual for me, so I need to experience it some more. So the universe sends fish and chip shop man. And because I've now got an intellectual understanding of what's going on for the first time in my life, I can now feel more. So I'm still in it. I'm still in the trigger. I'm still in the reaction. Or that's still my modus. I'm not in it. I don't mean I'm sat in it now. I'm not angry now. What I mean is it's still my modus operandi. It's still my way of being. If I see indoctrination in someone, I just write them off and call them names. And we all know what name calling is. You know, we see it on the left. It's not aligned, it's not of a high vibration, it's not self-serving, it's not serving others. Self-serving and serving others go hand in hand anyway. But you have to move into serving others to actually start serving yourself, unless you class survival as serving yourself. But if you're in survival and serving yourself to that level, then you'll have retarded ideas around you're enlightened like Rachel used to. Or like, look at Sophie, like she's a great example. Like she would claim she serves others, but she's in absolute service to herself. Anyone with a job that's not purpose and is working for wages in service to self. And that's fine. Survival is the first stage. But what's not fine is not acknowledging it. Fish and chip shop, man. So this time, because of that, and also the universe steps up with teaching. So I don't like Chris and will never like Chris. Now, that doesn't mean I need to be angry with him. That doesn't mean I wouldn't be better off communicating to him with love for both of us. That doesn't mean that all those lessons aren't there, but there's no part of me that's like, oh, I'm not going to have a relationship with Chris now. Like, because no one would want a relationship with Chris. Not even his wife wants a relationship with Chris. She just wants his money. Like, honestly, he's so bad. I can't wait for you to see him. You'll see him in Patreon members will see him tomorrow. Or if you've probably already seen him. No, I just need to edit the last bit of the video. No, you haven't. You'll see him tomorrow. Why are you fidgeting, Tom? Stay calm, stay present. So, it's going really well. It goes bad. So Lee is about to solve the situation. Lee's about to get food to his man. I sabotage that and speak over him because I'm so triggered and call him a retard. He then goes into, typical like angry man. Like I can tell he wants to punch me. He's got enough impulse control not to, but he goes into that energy. He goes, don't call me names. And I said, and I'm conscious enough now, only a few weeks ago, I'd gone, why not retard? But, I've moved on from there and I went, you're right, I shouldn't have called your name. I apologize for that part, but all the rest of what I say is true. So me and him are done at this point, as in like, because he is of the retarded variety, there's going to be no going back for him because he can't move past his chosen one indoctrination. And these are the chosen ones. So anything that comes up against that is the enemy. So once I've gone down that route rather than Lee's route, which would have asked him questions like, who was Jesus turning the tables on? They're not just merchants. Actually made him think. So I totally sabotaged that. But this is the key point. So with Chris, I left it with no noticing of what I'm about to speak into because Chris is valueless other than this plat. But this man had value. This man owned the best fish and chip shop in Siem. Siem Reap, right, yeah. He's a great character, amazing content. Like it's gonna be such a great video. I will put it on Not Today Satan, and I will also put it on English Refugee. And also I will, I'm doing it now, so this is kind of a problem, isn't it? I think this might also be why the views on my videos have dropped, because I cover it all in my lives. But I think I cover it in more depth in the videos. So it could also be a Tom Greatrex video if I spoke into it like I am doing, if I showed the footage and then spoke into it. And it would be really worth doing. I just don't know if I've got the energy right now because I've just got... I've created so much content. It's like, can I really motivate myself to create another video when the content just seems to be coming to me? Like, all I need to do is sit down with someone and put the camera on. It's going to be really interesting to see how people react. I know no one's going to like Lee. He's just too much. They'll get triggered and unsubscribe more than I'll get anything positive out of it. But obviously, I'm still going to share it because it's of high resonance, and for the very few that do get it, for heart of hearts, it's worth it. And then there's his partner, the doctor. I think people are going to like that. And then there's Michael. I think people are going to like that. And there's more to come. It's inevitable. In Siem Reap, living above Lee, there's going to be more to come. Okay, I'm gonna try and make the point that I've been building up to this whole time. So, I'm right. This is the ego story. I mean, it's also true, but I'm right. Right, so okay, so that bit's true, as in I'm right, but it's the Them Every Time Club. But also I'm not, because what's behind that? I'm really, the Them Every Time Club is Khazarians. And then it's not even, you know, people of that country. Most of them are plebs, and really ugly inbred ones. But of course, YouTube, there's some very good ones too, some very good looking, intelligent ones. Just like every country, we're all the same. So what's behind the Khazarians? Well, you'll probably find it's fallen angels or reptilians. So really, none of it is true. But, you know, from the level that he's speaking at, it's absolutely true. So I can walk away being like, I'm right. But I also walk away because I've, you know, got triggered and got defensive, because that's what calling somebody a name is, it's being defensive. And that never feels good. But I really felt it this time. I really felt it, like I could feel this, like, and I could hear the ego going, it's all right, you're right, you're right, you're right. It's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault. But I could feel that, no, like this feels shit. This hasn't served me. And suddenly, I'm like, Lee, where's the green herbs here? You know, I go straight to, you know, the ego that can then take control. And I go straight to, like, you're not worthy. I mean, I'm not saying I heard these things, but this is the energy that I go into. Like, you're not worthy. Basically, Thanatos. Basically, I want to end it. And that doesn't mean I'm having those thoughts or even those words are in my head, but it's that energy. Thanatos and Eros are the two sides of the spectrum, and obviously there's all these emotions in between. But so essentially, I go to Thanatos, which is wanting to end it, in Freud's words. Well, not his words, but, you know, that is what that energy is. It's for part of us, you could call it the soul, that knows this is a shit show and doesn't want to take part in it. So I really feel that strongly for the first time, and then I feel all the self-sabotaging coping mechanisms that come up. The main one being for me is green herb. And I even ask Lee, I'm like, Lee, like, I say, I feel shit. So I'm now conscious enough or aware of myself enough after the teaching with Chris and that Lee then reflected to me, the actual teaching. After the experience with Chris and then the teaching with Lee, I go, yeah. So he goes, I can't remember his words, but he's like, it's happened again. And with no judgment. There's no judgment in anything Lee says. Because he's been there, he's experienced it all. He's been the angry man, he's been a violent man. Well, I'm assuming that, but he's definitely been an angry man. So it's like, he's like, I can't remember what he says, but basically it's like, this is what it means. He won't have used any of these words, but this fucking light is getting to me. The light off my microphone is getting to me the first time, it doesn't usually. So even, why does my microphone have a bright green light on it? I suppose it needs to let me know it's on, but does it need to be like blindingly bright? Can I even make this point? I've been trying to make this point for half an hour, man. No wonder there's only 44 of you watching. Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. Maybe I need to stop doing them at 1 in the morning. I'm halfway through making a point. I'm not doing too bad. Okay, so Lee gives me the teaching again, basically, and I'm still going, yeah, but he's a spacker, and I know that Lee's right, and I can already see where it's going, but I'm not there yet. I don't know how to be that. So my ego wants to make it about him, but it's nothing to do with him. It's all about me. My journey is all about me. So basically, I'm gonna just really simplify it now because it's gone on way too long. I felt for the first time like truly, obviously I've been touching upon it and I've been intellectually understanding it bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. But this is what Michael speaks into so well. Like it's, I can't do it justice, but I have spoken into it myself about like you can't understand anything. And that's not just some spiritual love and light word. Like, yes, they use it, but there's a big difference between understanding. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, common lawyers even know about that. But, you know, understanding, embodying, walking with it being your way, your natural way. You don't have to think. It's just how you are. So the understanding was coming in. I've not managed to simplify it. I was hoping to finish this in 2 sentences, and I've already said 10 and got nowhere. I guess you just have to laugh. Right, it was the deepest I've ever felt. So yes, I've touched upon it before, yada, yada, yada. But it was the deepest I've ever felt what it does to me when I react out of fear and defensivism, because I find retardation fearful. I'm scared of retarded people. As in, I'm scared of the effect they have on the world. And I'm scared of where the world's going, because I'm not fully in trust. So again, this all comes back to, are you surrendered? Are you in trust? And of course, that's all stages. So I can speak into it because I'm genuinely doing it. And compared to your average Shmoo, I'm very surrendered and in trust. But compared to Lee, I'm not. Compared to Heart of Hearts, I imagine I'm not. So I was going to say, Heart of Hearts, can you confirm whether or not you're more enlightened than me? I already know she is. And also, she wouldn't put it into that language. She'd never, yeah. Anyway, that's another tangent. I think that's it. So it's really like this lesson is just going to keep coming until I start approaching everything with love and understanding. Oh my God, even Rachel. No, I think I'm doing that with Rachel. So yeah, it's really strong at the moment. Like it's come up very strongly. Like I haven't had like even with the last landlord, I don't think I got angry with her. Like there was the 10 o'clock at night where I boshed the chair on the floor. But obviously I exaggerated in the thumbnail. I didn't literally pick up a chair and fucking smash it on the floor. I picked it up like that and went boom, 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 just with the legs, and some nails fell out. That's as far as it went. But even with her, like I didn't shout. Like, so it's like, you know, I'm not usually, anger is in me and it shows up in how I respond to the SPACs in the comments. But this was a whole nother level. Like this was like, I was in it. You know, I was really in it, and I was like really like this with them. And what you'll see, I don't know whether to title it, it will get more views if I title it, I have a big bust up with my landlord, because people love drama. But really the title should be My Ego Gets Exposed, because that's what's happening here. And you really see it with Chris, the first one, because I say a sentence like, who do you think's more clever, me or you? Like, and another really awful one. Oh yeah, you drink, I don't, you listen to me. Like, I mean, okay, he does drink all day, so there is some truth to it, but you know, it's just so off the ego, it's outrageous. So I can't wait to show you all that. I really can't wait to show it you, because I love using myself as an example, even though like retard shit on it and project onto it, but that doesn't really bother me anymore. Obviously, there's still a slight part of me that's like, I'm sharing myself so vulnerably and doing something you could never do. But you know, I'm pretty much past it. But when it shows up in my real life and it's strong, like it's been really strong the last 2 days, like stronger than, I can't even remember the last time I got this angry with someone. So like, you know, it's time to move on from any little bit of anger in me. So it's showing up strong, like really strongly, so I can see it and experience it, because it's only through experience that we will ever deepen, or we will ever understand, it will ever become our way. Okay. Can finally move on from that tangent that had loads of tangents attached to it. That's exactly why I said a bit. There's no way I'll be watching all of it. Fantastic. Love you. I missed the bit. My ego didn't let me see the bit. My ego wanted to hear you go, Tom, you're so enlightened. You're the best person I know. Of course, I watch every minute of your content, and I might even rewatch some of it. Oh, what an egoic twat. So, of course, if you donate or you're a Patreon member, all your comments will be brought up, unless you're Rick Heskey. And I'll even bring some of his. Well, lad, hope you're doing well. You're glad you got out of the UK. You look healthy, which is good. Take care. Thanks, Bin Flynn. Yeah, I feel really healthy. I feel the best I've ever been. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm the most enlightened I've ever been. Everything is going really well. But it's only going well because I keep seeing my ego and my anger and all my retardation. So, of course, there's the two sides to it, as always. But because I'm leaning in completely now, almost completely, and with Lee, there's no escape. So, yeah, I'm basically leaning in completely. Well, it was good. For the purposes of this chat and the people in it, I'm leaning in completely. And I don't mean that as a disrespect. It's just reality. And the reason that's reality is because I'm still fucking retarded. So of course, the people watching me are going to have retardations too. And of course, that's why, Lee has a different audience. And, because, can you guess? Have I said it enough times yet? The external is a reflection of your internal, unless you're Jim Dandy who knows better. I think I just made a dog bark outside. That was so loud. Now, it is a very, what do you call it? Traumatized dog, but it was a better word. Reactive, but it was still a better word. It's a proper fucked up dog. But yeah, I just shouted so loud, the dog outside started barking, so that was too loud. Shug doesn't need to donate. He just gets brought up every time because he's a legend. Lockdown got everyone addicted to WooTube. It's the new battleground for minds, lamestream media. Is that, yeah, but have you seen? I've got a screenshot of it, but I don't know how to put it on here. I'd have to email it. I'm not doing that. So the UK are about to make sure, and YouTube has agreed. So that's the screenshot. That it's in YouTube's new policy, and they're presenting it as a, when they present these things as a dialogue. What do you call it? So they're asking for feedback, and they're presenting it as like, oh, we might do this, but obviously they'll just do it. And it's been dressed up as the UK government, but really it's probably just YouTube. So the government are wanting to push BBC and all their propaganda on YouTube. And they're also going to suppress. So basically, the English government are going to have the power to control the YouTube algorithm. Have you seen that? Not good news for me. Yeah, maybe, but and that's fine. If you need that, that's fine, but I don't need that. I don't need to feel good through their propaganda. I'm just not letting it in. After 2020, I'm not letting any of it in. Like, I made a vow to myself that I will never let them lie to me again. I'm going to honor myself and respect myself. I'm not going to watch their shit. Well, all right, Shug, you can tell us about Ike. Is Ike part of them or not? When Ike was new on the scene, he was allowed to continue. See, it sounds like you think he's real, as in autonomous. Robert Morningsky, strange surname, around the same time was ruthlessly discredited. Ike's artist, Neil Haig, is far more interesting guy. So I would take from that they allowed Ike because he's one of them. But maybe that's not what you're saying. I don't think that is what you're saying, but that's what I read from it. I don't know who that is. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Either this guy's just funny or he is referencing some of my early content, because I did do some early content where I started the video off going literally that, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's super gay. So I don't know if he's reminding me of my early content and he's an OG. Also, I must acknowledge, seeing as she does watch every minute of my content, I have said a few times that we only have one OG from Thailand, and that's Walks and Talks in Thailand. Absolutely not true. We also have Lauren Kay. Big love to Lauren Kay, who's brave enough to get involved in comments today. What a love, so brave. Very funny. I like it. Can you let me know if you're referencing the content or if you just came up about it yourself? Because it's great. Shub. If Ike had said they were reptilian in nature and not shapeshifters, he might have been taken seriously. I thought he did say that, but I'm no expert on Ike. I've not really watched much of his stuff. Can't help feeling it was a self-hijacked to ferment. Is that misspelling or is that a word? Ferment. I've never seen that word before. And cement his conspiracy theory persona. I'm going to read it again. If Ike had said they were reptilian in nature and not shapeshifters, he might have been taken seriously. I mean, I don't think he would in 1980. I don't think it would have made much difference between which one he said. But maybe for someone like you mean. Can't help but feeling it was self-hijacked to cement his conspiracy theory. Yeah, so this would fit into being a gatekeeper, right? Like, yeah, he's giving you shitloads of truth. But the gatekeep is the twist on reptilians and shapeshifters, which I don't understand. I don't know which is, well, you know, I know the difference, but I don't know which it is or if it's both of them or if it's all that, whatever. Oof. Now, the paradox, as Michael said about the Matrix, even if he is a gatekeeper, it seems that it's had more of an awakening effect. So, yeah, so where I ended with Mike in terms of like the big takeaway for me with those loads, but the big one for me was that I've been dualistic with this. That, of course, there's two sides to, sorry, that is dualism. Have I been dualistic with this? No, I've not even been dualistic. I've been two-dimensional with this. I've been below dualism. So I've been where you can only see one side and you can't even see the other. And I can't really speak into it because this is so new for me in regard to these gatekeepers or what I see as evil. You know, so I recently realized that the demons are all in service anyway. So for example, I called in the guy that thinks he's my stalker, but he's just, you know, he's nothing. Well, he's actually in service. He's actually, you know, he's been of great service to me. So I called him in to feel all my fear. You know, I genuinely thought people were trying to kill me and I was fleeing for my life. So I really felt all my fear. So he unlocked parts of me that I couldn't get to. He served me greatly. So I'm starting to really, you know, so that's oneness. That concept comes from oneness, but it's all for the service. You know? There is no light and dark. It's all one. And it's all serving each other. It's itself, essentially. Because we're all I am, what people like to call consciousness. So when I speak about David Icke, I'm speaking from a two-dimensional level. Is he or isn't he? Okay, so is he or isn't he is dualistic, that's third dimensional. But actually the way I present, when I give you my thoughts, the information that I feel I have, which I clearly don't because it's two-dimensional information, I'm like, it's this. So I think the answer is that Ike is all of it. He's the gatekeeper, but he's also the awakener. I didn't say you're all enlightened, you daft twat. Stop putting words in my mouth just so you can't hear the actual words. This is what people do. When I speak from a consciousness, a perspective that's higher than theirs, some people who are really on the journey and have learned how to surrender are like, oh, okay, I don't agree with this, but I'm open. But most people do this, just twist what I said, make up their own story. But he'll think I said that. Of course, all Irish aren't enlightened. Most, like any country, 99% of them are completely retarded. But they're special. They're special retards. Oh. I don't quite get it. So the Bible's amazing, by the way, guys, but you can't. I don't know how, for me, you just have to listen to somebody like William Donahue or Lee talk about it. Because if you read it, I don't know how it could possibly make sense, because it's so parably and tricky. Tricky is not the right word, riddly. And then you've got all the fucking Christian indoctrination around it that says that it's like he's actually a son of God and you have to worship him, which is absolutely not what he was trying to say. So shrug is breaking down the word Jesus and suggesting that it means I am, but I don't say, oh, Jesu is I. I don't know. You need to dumb it down for me, Shrug. Yeah, it was so good, that one. It was so beautiful. I just love that. I don't quite know why, but something happened there. Like maybe it all means something to those two people. I'm sure I'm sure the universe is, well, I've no doubt the universe was talking to those two people. Maybe it's proving synchronicity to them, yeah, because neither of these people, Debbie is moving from coincidence to synchronicity, but is not fully in synchronicity, and Rachel doesn't even know what synchronicity is. So that was synchronicity. When you both commented on 9:31, I think it was, exact synchronicity. So hopefully you've both learned from that. Sure. Tartarus was the place the creator banished the fallen to. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and speak into this because Lee is explaining all this to me, like Lemuria and the different. So basically, as we descended from the 12th dimension, no, it wasn't even that. So for consciousness to become this shit show that you see in front of you right now, for I am to do that, it had to be such incremental stages, because otherwise it wouldn't have forgot what it is. It's a very bastardized version of what Lee explained. So Tartarus is a level of this. What's the one that everyone knows about, but some people think is fake? Atlantis is actually a very low level of this. We see it as a high functioning, high consciousness society, and it was compared to what we are now, but it was actually very low on this scale. And then there's one beginning with L, which I think is Lemuria, but it might be Laboria. And Lemuria is definitely a thing, but I don't know if it's what we're talking about. And again, like Lee holds all that side of it. So the again, I can't do this anywhere near justice, but the fact, I'll use that word, the fact that I am became this shit show you see in front of you right now on the camera, and the shit show in the comments, by which I mean unconscious things that believe they're humans, which I'm part of. There's no criticism here. It's just the truth. As far as I know it, which won't be true. But I think this is quite true. For it to forget what it was. Right, oh yeah, so Lee holds as a fact that that's what's happened. But obviously he'll explain it way better than me, if you have ears to hear, which not many of you will. Heart of Hearts, give Lee's channel a go. I think you'll like it more than mine. Literally the only person in this chat I can say that to, other than Sugar, obviously, but he might not need it. There might be one other that I just feel I have to say that in case there is one other, and I don't want to disrespect them. But if there is one other, they wouldn't feel the disrespect anyway or the trigger anyway because they're past all that shit. But I don't think there is. I think it's literally those two people that are ready for Lee's channel. And then there's someone like Albus who, you know, can hear it and misinterpret it and think that she's fourth dimensional when really she's like this, just like I am. But that's great. That's how we start, you know, just being in his presence. Even if you mishear what he's saying or project onto what he's saying, at least you're in his presence, you're in his energy. Like, it's inevitable that things will start shifting from there. Just like for Rachel being in my presence, it's inevitable that things will start shifting from there. Maybe not Sparkle Pants, Sophie. Sophie doesn't want it. Rachel wants it. She's very unconscious. I think she's quite low intellect. I'm pretty certain she's quite low intellect. I'm very open to being proven wrong on any of this. Definitely low consciousness though. But she wants it, and that's the key. She is leaning in. That's the end of the sentence, actually. My ego wants to say leaning in from her, you know, low place, wants to do her down a bit. But no. The end of the sentence should have been she's leaning in. Well done, Rachel. I'm going to put you back on the screen and just honor you a bit more. I'm feeling a lot of love for you tonight. You're the star of the show tonight, Rachel. I'm very, 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 very happy for you. You've had a big, I don't know if you can feel any shifts yet, or if you can feel anything, I'll just leave it at that. If you can feel any change yet, and I'm not saying you should, don't worry if you don't, it's coming for sure. But how did it feel to write, I'm not enlightened? Did it feel, I imagine it might have, you might have already totally accepted this and you just literally haven't done the comment yet, and it was very easy for you, but it might have been quite hard to write. I'd be very interested to know. And you go, again, I hope I don't need to say this, but it's like not to ridicule you, it's to understand you better and to know exactly, well, I think I know where you're at anyway, but it's to help you, because if you, either you'd accepted this 2 weeks ago and it was no problem for you to write it, or you're so numb that it was on your edge still, but you couldn't feel anything when you did it, or when you did it, you wrote it like this. And if you wrote it like this, that's really great, because you're feeling everything that's repressed you from doing that in the past, and everything that's tricked you into believing you're enlightened. So you know, the only way to heal is to feel, so that's fantastic. But obviously the ego will tell you, oh, I felt fear, that means I'm crap, you know, don't listen to the ego. Citizen Journal, yeah, that one's very easy. I mean, it's so obvious. Like, the minute they ban it and then Elon Musk shares it, you're like, yeah, I'm not watching that. I'm not judging Guy, as I don't know much about him. This is Shug. But I have to say, I did arrive at some similar conclusions on some things as him. I only trust my heart ultimately. Nice. Trust, still Shug, seems such a definitive term, too easily earned or simply demanded as a hierarchical society. I only go with what resonates. Beautiful, man. Ah, great. I thought he was good. Thank you for confirming. I'm going to start listening to this guy more. Shug. I love William Donahue. Right, everyone, if you want to know what the Bible is really saying, this is the man to follow. So somebody shared him in my comments, and I'll be honest, I haven't listened to enough of him. I've listened to 3 of his videos. I've been like, obviously, like, yeah, great, but I haven't really been able to. I suppose it wasn't, when I listened to it, it wasn't giving me enough dopamine hits, and I still needed a certain level of dopamine hits. I think I'm now past needing the dopamine hits. I think he will now provide me enough dopamine hits, is what I'm saying. I was fucking still smoking 14 joints a day. I'm sober now. Oh God, almost wasn't last night. No, actually, that's not true. Yeah, I was sat next to Michael, who's like, you know, amazing, and he's just smoking it up. But he explained, and I'm not going to go into this. No, in fact, I'm not even going to talk about it. But basically, I'm not going to talk about the deep stuff and his explanation because I'm not ready for that because it's very new to me. But I can feel myself wanting to do it. I can feel the tangent coming now, but I'm not going to do it. Bye-bye, tangent. So sat next to him, smelling it, and then I asked him, like, you know, his journey with it, his opinion on it, which that's the bit I'm not going to go into. But basically, I had to, like, it was so obvious, like, how much was, let's just call it the shadow or the ego, the old pattern, the addiction, the trauma, the escaping of oneself, wants to tell myself, like, oh, God, it smells so good. It's going to taste so good. You're going to love it so much. But my lived experience, and I now know this, why this is after talking to Michael, and I know that it will shift, and one day I will be able to smoke it without having any of what I'm about to say. But my lived experience is that it makes me want to end myself. Yeah, I'm still sat there trying to convince myself it's going to make my evening better. So I think I'm at the point where the story will come up that that there's a reason to smoke. But I think I'm at the point, so there's the story. Oh, shit, almost satanic. There's the story, but I think there's now this, pretend that's a circle, so it doesn't really matter, let's just do this and this. So we're not talking, don't compare the different shapes, we're not talking about shapes, we're talking about the sizes. What would be really ideal now is if I got my cock out and Rick Heskey got his cock out, then we'd have the same shape, but you'd see two clearly different sizes. But yeah, pretend this is Rick Heskey's cock. All right, here we go. Rick Heskey's cock, my cock. Yeah, okay. Right, now relate that to ego and self-love, or inner child and father, the different parts within us. So inner child, ego, broken, Rick Heskey's tiny dick goes, it'll be a really good idea to smoke some ganja tonight. It tastes really good and you'll have a much nicer evening. And then daddy, father, higher self, Tom's big dick goes, I know you want that. It doesn't do that. It's not going to bother with Rick Heskey's little pingu stick. It goes, I hear you. I know you think that's good, but we don't need that now. And it actually destroys us. And, you know, instead you can have a burger if you want. I believe the Bible may well be fragments of warnings and predictions from past futures and future past. You know, I laugh because I know he's spot on, because there's the paradox, but it's also fucking confusing to the mind. What else could it be in a cynical, oh mate, I can't, it's too much for me, I'm sorry. Yes, Atlantis and Lemuria is where their hatred of us was born. I mentioned it a bit in my show. I do need to start watching it stuff. It's just because it's on Rumble. I hate Rumble. Like, it's so clunky and shit. We were their slaves. They created us to be. They created us to be. Does that mean they created us? Or is it a bit of a typo? They created us to be. So by adding some of their right, now Jerome kind of touched upon this. By adding some of their DNA as we comprehend it. This guy's so good. Also, it's fucking exhausting, man. Like, so this is why people get triggered with me. Because I exhaust them, I speak beyond their perception, and they either have to crumble or accept. And in accepting, it's exhausting because you're literally shifting out your shitty vibrations, which is exhausting. So if I spent time with Sugar, I'd have to lie down after an hour, just like I do with Lee. In short, they were ordered to worshippers, and they truly despise that. You know, I want to say who ordered them, but one, I'm scared of asking a retailer to comment from your perspective. As in, not you judging me or looking down on me. I know that would never happen. I'm just being like, not even a comment that's relevant. I think that might be relevant, but it probably isn't. And also, I just want you to stop commenting because I can't cope with it. But I also don't, because you're amazing and you're really sharing the shiz. But you know, we've dropped down to 37. You know, people can't handle it. But then that's fine. Like, I'm here for ones that can. And I can't either. But I'm not gonna like trigger off over it. I do know what synchronicity is. Good. So you intellectually know, but I don't think you even know what experience, what embodiment is. So I don't think it will be embodied. But I'm glad to hear that you intellectually know. I was asked if I wanted to participate in synchronized swimming when, oh my God. God, don't judge, Tom, don't judge. Just love, just love. When I was a teenager, yeah. So we're not talking about synchronized swimming. I'm not asking if you understand the dictionary definition of synchronicity. I'm asking if you've seen it in your life and you've realized that coincidence is a lie. Yeah, I just can't do a session. No, we can't do a session. It'll just be too hard. Okay, Heart of Hearts. I've been following Lee for about a month now, and I can see him as someone I can follow for the long haul because I just get him. Amazing human. Yeah, like he's the best one I've found so far. So does his content challenge you? Are you learning, or are you just nodding your head? Are you I am? Right, okay, great. But I hope you have felt up. 4 weeks ago, you were claiming you're enlightened. So Rachel is now saying it was very easy for her to write, I am not enlightened in the chat. 4 weeks ago, you were claiming you're enlightened. Now you're able to write in the chat, you're not enlightened. So in that should have been some feeling of, yeah, I mean, maybe this is what you were doing when you were trying to shame me with watching Awakened Babes content. Maybe that was when you were feeling it, I imagine. You should have felt resistance and fear at some point, and if you haven't, then nothing's going to change. Oh, we've got some vulnerability from Rachel. My issue is alcohol, to be honest. Thank you for being honest. Very good. Very numbing at night and the mornings after. So I'm assuming you don't mean you're drinking in the mornings. You mean you're waking up with a hangover, basically. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It's numbing. So we're all vibration. Every emotion is vibration. Everything in you is vibration. So you're vibrating here, let's say. So obviously you're going to vibrate with things on that level. So this is going to be shame, fear, and guilt, like everyone else who's not done shitloads of self-work. No criticism. It's just where we all start because of what they've done to us. Well, alcohol absolutely is, you know, of those very low vibrations because you need to numb out because life is horrible in those vibrations. So yeah, that makes absolute total sense. Thank you for your honesty, your vulnerability. Thank you to that, you know, thank you from my perspective and the chat's perspective, because it's really great when people can be honest in the chat. But you know, thank you for you. Like you thank yourself. You're doing really well. Well done, Rachel. Yes, thank you, Rachel. Well done. And I don't mean thank you from my perspective, you know. I'm speaking from the oneness that we are the same, and the oneness in me, the little part of me that can recognize oneness, is really grateful you've done that. All right, we're going to end it there, guys. There's a few more comments from We Fat Shrug and Heart of Hearts, which I will read out because they're always fantastic and very helpful. Shrug. Wait till you get to my age. Yeah, it looks awful, man. No, I don't mean that. That's the ego. What I mean, so being the ego projects that being old is going to be awful, but actually, the more I open up to love, it's just like, oh, it's just wise and it's actually going to be beautiful. But there is the whole, like, the body getting decrepit. It looks hard work, man. Not that you're an example of that. You look very healthy. Wait till you get to my age. Your weapon, it's already happening, mate. It's already happening. Becomes a single shot and takes a week. Oh, and takes a week to reload. Yeah, I mean, I've really experienced this. So I've gone from 15 a day to one every couple of days since I've been in Siem Reap, and yeah. So this is what the chat was supposed to be about, and this is what the title referred to. Oh my god, I want to shag so many of them. I think I'm going to. So I've been wanking twice a day since I got to the same week, and I've been on Grindr because they're also goddamn sexy and so heart-based and so beautiful. You know, I'm even going into a love addiction story. I'm even like, oh my god, I could get a boyfriend here, which is all story, I'm sure. Is love addiction. Spiral again. So this journey is all a spiral. So you'll heal love addiction. You'll really be looking at that and working with that and observing that and doing the work around it, and you'll be released from it, and you'll no longer have like your desperate attachments, and you'll think from the ego that you've cracked it or healed it or whatever language you use, and then you go to another level of the healing, the spiral, the journey, the awakening. Oh, here we are again. But we're seeing it from a different perspective this time, and we're not as addicted, grabby, unconscious of it. So Heart of Hearts says to Rachel, I'm sending, I love her. I'm sending you my love. Oh, thank you for doing this, Heart of Hearts. You're the only one that's on doing the comments. I asked for comment sections on her, and I really meant it. And guess who did it? I'm sending you my love, and thank you for your braveness. Yeah, it took real courage. Even if she doesn't recognize it did, but at some point it would have done, and I think it probably did tonight. I think her ego is probably hoodwinking her, but you know, I don't know. But I know at some point, and it could have been that, I feel like it was that point where you were trying to shame me by watching another YouTuber. I think that's when you felt the fear and the repression and the resentment. Heart of Hearts, I'm just going to read it out because it's beautiful. I'm sending you my love and thank you for your braveness. I would like... fuck, I didn't even manage to read the fucking comment. Why are you telling Heart of Hearts what to do? For me, courage is a better word, but it doesn't matter. Your courageousness. Right, I'm going to read Heart of Hearts without putting any of my shit into it. I'm sending you my love and thank you for your braveness. It's definitely not easy to share such truths. Absolutely. She's doing amazing. Thank you, Heart of Hearts, for acknowledging her and honoring her. Lee is someone who speaks my language, if you know what I mean. Yeah, okay, so I am. Something that strikes me is that they're feeding... Oh, I can't do it, Shug. All right, one more. Nobody put any money in this. We're definitely ending. Something that strikes me is that they're feeding us fake meat and food. Absolutely. One of the punishments of the Tower of Babel was to eat the flesh of others. Fake meat is not only poison, but it defies. Woo! There you go, guys. I hope you got something from all that. Thank you to everyone who's contributed. Well done to Rachel. Well done to Rachel. Rachel is the star of the show. Thanks for Shug for being here. I really appreciate his presence. Of course, Heart of Hearts, thank you for being here, let alone, you know, then there's also this side of it. Shug, you could learn a thing or two from Heart of Hearts. I'm only joking, Shug's a Patreon member. That's more than enough. Like, you know, honestly, like, there's no need to do anything more than... There's no need to do anything. Like, you do you. You know, just liking the... You know, if you can't like the feed, then I have no respect for you whatsoever. But actually, you know, I've been there. I understand it, but I still have no respect for you. Fuck off. Really, if you value my content and want to... want to support it is too strong because people are too repressed. If you are of a giving vibration and you value my content and therefore want to support me because you're of a giving vibration, so you can actually feel that, then being a Patreon member is more than enough. Like if 100 people did that, it'd be over. Like I'd just be able to serve and not even speak about money. So Sugar's doing more than his part, is all that was to say. Thank you so much for joining, I assume, my English refugee channel now, RPM Nitro. Sorry for asking you to change your name. You do you. Why am I doing that? That's silly. I mean, when it's like, you know, this means something. Like nitro is obviously a thing, some sort of gas or something. RPM, rates per minute or something. You know, this guy's probably a car head or something. So that means something to him. When it's like E, F, G, X, P, Q, Y, Z, whatever, like I'm just like, no, change it. So I apologize for telling you to change your name. That was egoic and stupid. And yeah, just those things. Thank you, Spiritual Warrior, man. I really like Spiritual Warrior. I like you because you give me money, but I don't feel like you comment too much, which is fine. You know, just give me money. But obviously, I would love to hear from you as well and get to know you. And Spiritual Warrior came in again. Sorry, I didn't honor Debbie, as always. Thank you for just thank you for everything. But thank you for moderating and donating and contributing to the chat. Cheers, Rick. Thank you so much. Heart of Hearts, you're amazing. Cheers, Rick. Ben Flynn, thank you very much. I know you've donated before. You're a very good one. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. Big love.